electrified the campus this morning.
Thank you.
But now it's prime time. Will Muschamp and his Gators paraded through their faithful fans hours ago on their way to their first conference challenge of 2014. A 4-8 record last season brought change to the Swamp. A new offensive coordinator and his exciting high-speed offense
It's all about the sound.
earned rave reviews in its debut. But today, a true test. The Kentucky Wildcats. They're looking for their first one over the Gators in almost 3 decades. Florida, Kentucky, SEC primetime football in the Swamp. You are looking live at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. Folks around here call it simply the Swamp. Since 1990, the Gators have won 86% of their games in the Swamp. Kentucky is 0 for a lifetime. But the Wildcat youngsters are determined tonight to shock the SEC. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm Brent Musburger along with Jesse Palmer. For Jesse, it's a homecoming, and we know why you guys call this the Swamp.
It's one of the best venues in all of college football. We say that every week, though, in the SEC. But this place is unique. There's a reason we're not wearing our jackets, folks. It is hot. It is humid. It is sticky. There are 90,000 people in this building, and they are right on top of you. That's what makes this place unique and different. They are suffocating. They're loud. This is the truly the definition of home field advantage.
Jesse, what goes on down in that tunnel when you line up and get ready to pour out into the Swamp?
This is the favorite part. My memory is playing here at this point, getting ready to come out, seeing the crowd for the first time and feeling the energy.
Jesse, 4-8, and Florida fans aren't used to that. What's the buzz around town?
The expectations don't change here, Brent. They still expect to compete for an SEC championship. I think it's because of the offense. A new offensive coordinator, Kurt Roper, who came from Duke. He promised to bring a more up-tempo, balanced, multiple style of offense, and that was on display last week in their first game against Eastern Michigan. These are video game-like numbers that, quite frankly, fans here in Gainesville haven't seen since Tim Tebow played here. So they're certainly going to get a tougher challenge tonight against a much-improved Kentucky defense, but this team is expecting Atlanta because of the offense.
And Maria Taylor is with Coach Will Muschamp. Maria?
Yeah, Coach, your first game was ruled a no contest because of Mother Nature. Second game, you rolled up big numbers against an outmatched opponent. What do you anticipate learning from your team in the conference opener?
Well, we've prepared well. I'm looking forward to see our guys compete tonight on offense, defense, and special teams.
Second game in your new look offense. What do you believe will translate very well against this SEC defense?
Well, again, we just need to go execute and take care of Florida.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
All right, Maria, thank you very much. So Maria mentioned Kentucky, and are they improved, Jess?
No doubt about it. They haven't won a conference game for 2 years, yet there is so much energy and excitement around this Kentucky football program, and it's because of their head coach, Mark Stoops. He's recruited extremely well. They've got better players on both sides of the ball. They feel like they found their quarterback in Patrick Towles, and their defense has made plays these first 2 games. I think Kentucky is using tonight's game against Florida on the road as a measuring stick to find out just how far they've come.
So another of those grand settings in SEC land. Kentucky won the toss. They deferred. The Gators will have the ball first tonight. Kentucky give him a chance. Ball on the tee for Austin McGinnis. The Swamp is open for business. DuBose is coming out. 25, 30, 35 out of bounds. Electrifying speed. And now, Jesse, we turn to Jeff Driscoll, injured in the third game a year ago, and here comes the young man.
Yeah, very high expectations on Florida's junior quarterback. You mentioned season cut short a year ago because of that broken leg against Tennessee. He's had a lot of success here, 13-3 as a starter, and had very good success last week here at home against Eastern Michigan. He needs to take his time, keep his poise, take what the defense gives, and really build on that performance from last week.
Matt Jones will get the first call at tailback. Of course, we'll see Kelvin Taylor, perhaps Mac Brown. Good depth at the running back position, always needed in the SEC. From the pistol, it's Jones. Cut off. Could not get back to the line of scrimmage. Kentucky jumped it, led by Josh Forrest, their talented Mike linebacker.
The #1 goal for Kentucky is going to be stopping Florida's run. Last year, Florida had 246 rushing yards in that game. And all of a sudden, we talk about that tempo from Florida here, lining up very quickly, trying to get more plays run.
Second and 12, Driscoll's first throw of the night, on the money beautifully, and that's Demarcus Robinson out of bounds, picks up a first down.
It's a very nice job of quarterback Jeff Driscoll in the pre-snap, understanding his wide receiver Robinson was going to have leverage on that out-breaking route. Got the football out of his hands quickly, allowed his wide receiver to make something with the catch once it was in his hands.
33-yard gain. Replays might be at a premium tonight with two hurry-up attacks. Here come the Gators, 1st and 10. Jones again. Good resistance early from that front. That's Henderson for Kentucky.
I think it's an improved front seven from a year ago, Brent. I think they have the ability to be very physical, and they're going to pride themselves this year on doing a better job stopping the run. That's where it's going to start.
So the DuBose came on when they were at the line of scrimmage. He's down at the bottom of your screen. That allowed Kentucky to substitute an extra defensive back. Keep an eye on DuBose. The Gators wanting to handle the ball more if they can get it to him. Driscoll looks the other way. Incomplete. Fred Tiller with great coverage.
Nice job and nice pocket for Jeff Driscoll to throw the football to, but you're seeing Kentucky being aggressive right now, putting bodies close to the line of scrimmage to stop the run. And Fred Tiller and these cornerbacks challenging Florida's wide receivers on the perimeter of the field now, setting up a 3rd and long. Now, if you're Florida, you've got to find #2, Bud Dupree. See him at the top of the screen, right up here. He's the best pass rusher for Kentucky.
Remember, DJ Humphries missing at left tackle, so Chaz Green there for the Gators. Kentucky will try to exploit it. Driscoll stands tall, bobbled, incomplete, dropped by LaTroy Pittman.
It's a missed opportunity for the Florida offense. That time, Bud Dupree did not come in pressure, dropped back, and the offensive line really gave Driscoll a nice pocket. Again, a very good throw in rhythm. I think Pittman, if he makes that catch, has an opportunity to turn it up. Easily had enough for the first down, maybe more. Costly mistake now forces a Gators punt.
Kyle Christie, good punter. DeMarco Robinson back for the Wildcats. Coach Stoops had to be pleased with that initial defensive performance. Wants to go in the end zone. Christie backs it up. Like I told you, he's a dandy. Gerard Davis downs it inside the 5.
Brent, I think when you have a defense like the Florida Gators have, field position is obviously at a premium. Tremendous job by the coverage team getting downfield, tremendous speed. You see a lot of starters on their defense on the field for this punt cover unit. It was a great job by Christie just pinning that deep down inside, forcing Kentucky and their young quarterback Patrick Towles to go the distance.
Braylon Hurd is on the field. He missed last week's game, the transfer from Nebraska. Patrick Towles, the big quarterback, hands it off on first down, and Hurd battles his way out to about the 6-yard line. Jesse, I can't tell you how impressed I was watching this young man who has undergone a whole lot of mechanical changes.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's a lot to like about his game. 6'5", 240 pounds. He throws the ball well from the pocket, can run a little bit. Coaches told us that they were in love with his poise. Remember, making only his 3rd start ever, and he's got to do it in this type of hostile environment. That poise will get put to the test.
Play action, his first pass from his own end zone. Incomplete, and there is a penalty flag. Vernon Hargraves, the All-American corner, had the coverage on that play.
And I don't think this football was intended for Javis Blue.
Pass interference, number 1, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So go back and take a look at this. They had number 85, Stephen Borden, coming out of the backfield running a corner route. And I think that's where Towles was actually going with the football. He overthrew his target. And Javis Blue at wide receiver. You're going to see, just watch this guy come out here on the corner. I think that's where he's throwing. It's 85 there at the bottom of your screen. Ball goes over his head. And Javis Blue just happened to be there. Maybe the unintended receiver on the play, nevertheless, ends up fortuitous for Kentucky.
Penalty gives him a first down and moves the chains out to the 22-yard line. Towles, an outstanding runner. First down, 40, 45, and out of bounds at the 46. Look what we've got here. And the coaching staff over there with the Florida Gators better get ready. That's a 24-yard run by the quarterback.
There are very few 6'5", 240-pound quarterbacks that can move like this sophomore can.
We make sure I keep saying Towles. That's how you correctly pronounce it. And he whips off a completion. You know, I'm a little biased. I knew his granddad.
Oh, do you?
Jim Bunning.
Oh, yeah?
Covered him when he was pitching.
Was he
Major League
Hall
of Famer.
No hitter, maybe?
Tough guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just like his grandson.
Phillies, you know.
Yeah. All right.
He delivers it like Grandpa. It's in the genes, kid. It's in the genes. Second down and 9. Starts motion. Great job by that offensive line. Short of the first down, though. Ryan Timmons, a go-to guy who caught 10 passes last week. Gorman, the defender, but now the Wildcats face that third down. Let's talk about this offensive line, because Darian Miller over at left tackle has 27 starts. Now, at left guard, Zach West is out with a neck injury, so Cole Mosier will start. John Toth, the center, Ramsey Myers, Jordan Swindle. And so far, folks, they have been impressive against a very good defensive front. It's early, I know.
They got to be heads up here, Brent, because on third down, Will Muschamp and his staff like to bring exotic pressures. They're going to get tested.
Boom Boom won't get it. Boom Williams out of Monroe, Georgia, is short. But they were able to move the ball out by midfield, and that allows very good field position for a fine punter from Franklin, Tennessee, Landon Foster. And you folks up Tennessee way might remember Pops, Cliff Foster. He played at Tennessee. Cliff and Landon's mother, Tina, met them last night. Wonderful couple, and Hargraves is back deep. And here's another one of those good punters. Landon Foster was a high school soccer whiz until he was a junior. Hangs it up high now. Fair catch made at the 10-yard line by Hargraves. It's a battle of field position you're charting. Advantage Wildcats.
Florida. So I'm familiar with a lot of those guys. I mean, it's going to be fun, you know, walking out with a vid and rubbing in their face.
I was furious. I was outraged, and I talked to him about it. But you know, the thing is you know, he was trying to make light of some friends that he has on his program. But nobody, you know, like I told him, he said, "You think they're going to hear all of that? They're going to hear the last 5 seconds of what you said."
If he hadn't said rub it in their faces, he might have been okay. But you know what Will Muschamp told us, Jesse? Hey, we got knuckleheads on our team, too.
And Brent, I really think it talks to the swagger that Kentucky has all of a sudden. Remember, they went 2-10 a year ago. Again, they haven't won a conference game in 2 years yet. There's a different attitude and confidence on this Kentucky team early this year.
Kelvin Taylor. He's the son of the great Fred Taylor. His first carry for about a yard against that defensive front. And Za'Darius Smith makes a stop. You'll hear that name throughout the night. And Maria, there's a penalty flag down, but talk to us about young Kemp.
Well, yeah, the attitude adjustment that Jesse Palmer was just talking about for Kentucky, it really bleeds into all of the players, Brent. And I was talking to Bud Dupree, and he said, essentially, the locker room is just hype. I mean, people were talking about the opportunities they have to get a big win. They're all looking at it as a statement win. So JoJo Kemp's.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 55 offense. Half the distance to the goal. The down counts. It's second down.
Now that is a first-time starter, Roderick Johnson at right tackle. Remember we mentioned DJ Humphries. Injured and out. Can't play left tackle, so Chaz Green switched over there. Now DJ hopes to come back against Alabama. Some around here say that's a little bit optimistic for him. From the end zone, incomplete. Clay Burton, the target, and Jesse, here's that penalty.
Yeah, you see here just extracurricular activity, kind of taking what looked like a little bit of a swing, then a shove. This young freshman, he's got to keep his composure. We talked about these two tackles, one guy in Chaz Green playing out of position. You got a freshman playing the other spot. They're going to have their hands full with Bud Dupree and Za'Darius Smith, who you just saw make a play 2 snaps ago, all night long.
See what Kurt Roper has to dial up here. 3rd and 14 from where they are. This is a tough call for a play caller.
Are you thinking draw or screen?
There's your draw play. Taylor, 10, out to the 15-yard line. Good call, Jesse. That gave him a little more yardage here before the punt.
We talked about how field position already very important in this game. A bit of a defensive struggle, but you've got to like what you're seeing right now. If you're Kentucky, head coach Mark Stoops, defensive coordinator DJ Elliott, their guys look fired up. They're flying around. They're playing physical, and they're going to give their young quarterback, Patrick Tolles, the football back here in very good field position.
And then Christie will try to get some leg into this. Robinson standing at the Wildcat 35-yard line. We'd love to give him field position up near midfield, but Christie is an excellent punter. Great Gator speed on the special teams, trying to get downfield. Booms it. Robinson, fair catch. Drops it right at the 35-yard line. We'll take a break. 9:23. Wildcats and the Gators scoreless in this one with the head ball coach who leads Georgia 31-28. South Carolina, 13 minutes to go. When you talk about the road to the championship, that's a big leg up in the East if Georgia can win it.
Brent, they said my statue, they're just finishing the polish on that outside.
Tolles keeps it, and he was smacked by Marcus May. And you know, you mentioned Tim. He's going to drop by in the second quarter, and be interesting to have 2 Gator quarterbacks.
No doubt. I know. One very famous one, and then me. It'll be great.
Second down and 6. They jumped that play. Braylon Hurd going nowhere. His only 2 previous runs, Jesse, for the Wildcats had been long touchdown bursts in their opening game, but the Gators are on it.
You just said the word. He provides a burst, the Nebraska transfer does. But look at the push up the field by number 90, Jonathan Bullard, forcing Hurd to cut back in to a wash of blue jerseys. Now, here we go again. 3rd and long. You got to watch out. If you're Florida, number 6, Dante Fowler Jr.
So Kemp is also on the field. They show pressure the Gators, and they cause the right tackle to move. Jordan Swindle Broke the line for a false start. Made it that much harder.
Still third down.
This can be a very confusing game for Mark Stoops' offense, because if you put the film on from the Eastern Michigan game, I thought Florida was very vanilla with their blitzes. They'd bring a corner, they might bring a safety. They stayed in a lot of base defense and nickel defense, but tonight you're already seeing some different lineups, and they're moving around number 6, Dante Fowler Jr. He's the best pass rusher on Florida's defense, trying to get him matched up one-on-one with a Kentucky offensive lineman or a running back.
Garrett Johnson checks in as a wide receiver, and Kemp is out. 4 targets downfield on this 3rd and 13. Can the offensive line hold up? Toll steps fast to the right. Fires high and incomplete. Forced to punt again. Excellent defense by the Gators.
It was a very good pocket for Patrick Tolles. Now he's got to be careful. Once he gets outside and breaks contained, you cannot force the football against this very aggressive, very fast forward defense. Got lucky right there. Vernon Hargraves, an All-American last year, is only a true freshman. Almost came away with that pick.
Mr. DeBose is back deep. Did everything against Eastern Michigan, but crossed that goal line on his punt returns. And let's see what Landon Foster is going to do with him. Fair catch. And a penalty flag comes flying. Made the fair catch about the 27-yard line, but that side judge came running down the field and threw the flag. Mark Curls is our referee here tonight. The umpire is Johnny Hibbett. And upstairs doing the replays.
During the kick, personal foul, blocking the player out of bounds on the receiving team. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
.739, scoreless. Passions starting to run high. This is for real. Scoreless here.
You can see what Will Muschamp's mad about. Just look at the gunner here at the bottom of the screen from Kentucky. That's true freshman Duke Dawson, number 7 from Florida. And on a punt play, when a player in the cover team goes out of bounds, he's out of the play. Right now he's out of bounds. It's over. You cannot make contact with him. You can't block him. Duke Dawson does. You see the flag go flying in, and obviously Will Muschamp very upset. Another big penalty, Brent, by the Florida Gators early in this game. That's 3 now. 3 15-yard penalties they've already had on them.
And that backs them up, Jesse, inside the 15-yard line. And Matt Jones back in as their running back. He's alongside Jeff Driscoll. Blitz. Driscoll hit as he delivers a beautiful pass. And that's a first down to DeMarcus Robinson. Nobody picked up the blitzer.
Jeff Driscoll is playing faster under offensive coordinator Kurt Roper. He does a good job in his pre-snap read. Because he knew where to go with the ball, he was able to beat the corner blitz and the hit from Tiller.
As a result, it's a 1st and 10. That is a superb throw under pressure. Gonna try to air it out. Gonna go deep. Overthrew Quentin Dunbar.
But Brent, you see how the ball's coming out of Driscoll's hands very quickly? I think offensive coordinator Kurt Roper has really sped up the thought process in his head. At the snap, pre-snap, in the play, understanding where to go. Look at this. You take the handoff, take 3 steps and a hitch, and the ball's out. Last year, there may have been scenarios where he would have hung on to the football a lot longer, trying to find a 2nd and 3rd read, but I really think Kurt Roper has made a difference in Jeff Driscoll's game.
He's got him in a 2nd and 10. Offensive line gives him time. Couldn't find a receiver. And now he's crushed at the 20-yard line for a loss on the play. Melvin Lewis comes up. Ladarius Smith.
Well, it's about Melvin Lewis getting some push. You're going to see right in the middle, number 90, work on one-on-one with the center, getting a body right in front of his face. Great job jumping, and that forces Jeff Driscoll to have to move sideways. And again, we talked about these pass rushers for Kentucky. There's Ladarius Smith cleaning up the mess. Now you've got another 3rd and California situation.
Gator offensive line with his hands full. Youngster Lewis didn't play last year. Was injured. Some JC transfers up front. 4 guys trying to get through it. Again, Driscoll going long down the sideline and just out of the reach of Quinton Dunbar.
I think one commonality we've seen early in this game for the Florida offense is they're shooting themselves in the foot. They've gotten behind the chains because of penalties, because of sacks. Negative plays have set up third and unmanageable. Of course, they had a drop on their very first possession, but right now, this Florida offense, they have to be able to get out of their own way. You've got to give Kentucky's defense a lot of credit as well because they are flying around.
Christie. His 3rd punt of the night. Robinson sealed with a good. Got a daylight. Got an alley. Out to the 47-yard line. Looked like they had him backed up over on the sideline, and he still finding an alley before Davis made the stop. Watch this return. This is a beauty. The last time Kentucky beat Florida. Bill Ransdell completed 20 of 23. And then defensive back Tony Mays stripped the football from behind the receiver and recovered the fumble to stop a last-minute Gator drive inside Kentucky territory. Last time they won here in Gainesville, 1979. I don't know that any player on that team was alive.
I was one. But I'll tell you what, a win tonight for Mark Stoops, that could launch Kentucky's football program. We've been talking about how they've had a ton of energy and excitement, but you need a win to validate it. And if they could win against the Gators for the first time in 27 years, that would be absolutely huge.
Well, JoJo Kemp on the field. Tolles with a good series on their opening drive, but they were stuffed on their second. And then JoJo slips, and he's down. He's down back near the line of scrimmage. The headlinesman marking the ball down there. When he slipped, his knee was down, not like the NFL fellas.
JoJo Kemp has got a lot of wiggle. He's gonna have that shake and bake after what he said this week. He's a wanted man by this Florida defense.
You talk the talk.
You better walk the walk, my friend.
Patrick Tolles out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Highlands High School. Mechanics were rebuilt by a former high school coach during the offseason. Switches Kemp to the other side. Here comes that blitz. And Kemp is stoned by Ball. And of course, if you missed it, we had the soundbite earlier, but you can see what they fired themselves up with around Gainesville, somewhere inside that locker room. Walking out with a victory and rubbing their faces at it. All right, young man, here we go. Third and 7. Tolles deflected. And there was heat coming that time, too.
This Florida
Cummings
defense
was all over the quarterback.
Yeah, they do such a good job at the line of scrimmage disguising who's going to blitz, who's going to drop back into coverage. They have tremendous athletes all over the place. You're going to see right off the edge here, number 20, Marcus May, who missed last week's game with a hamstring injury. Blitzing from the safety position, confusing this Kentucky offense. We've got a defensive struggle right here, Brent.
Indeed. Hargraves this time. Fair catch at the 10-yard line. And let's go to the studio and Dari Nowkhah for our first update. Dari.
Time for your SEC right now, brought to you by State Farm, Georgia, South Carolina. It is a back and forth. You go from a 1 possession to a 2 and back to 1. Georgia into the end zone here, 38-35. Just over 7 minutes to go. Gamecocks still lead, guys.
All right, Dari, keep us up to date on that one here. Kentucky and Florida, both members of the SEC East. They are scoreless. And for Driscoll, he is only 2 of 7. 2 of 7. Remember now, Mark Stoops' defense is his specialty. Helped out with the great defenses at Florida State. Was down at Miami as a defensive back coach for a while. His brother, the head coach at Oklahoma. Taylor comes out on the first carry here of this particular drive. Kelvin Taylor out of Bill Gladesday High School.
And Brent, this isn't Eastern Michigan that Florida's playing. I think Mark Stoops is building a legit SEC caliber defense. You mentioned how successful Mark Stoops was at Arizona and Florida State as defensive coordinator. They've got a lot of speed. They've recruited well. They've got some JUCOs out there flying around, and they are hitting.
Looks like a defensive coach, doesn't he?
Youngstown guys.
Yes, indeed. Cardinal Mooney High School. Breaking free is Taylor for the first down.
Yeah, I hate to date myself here, but I played with his dad. I played with Fred Taylor. Back my true freshman year. I just want to say true freshman year, I played with his dad. But I got to say, when I watch Kelvin Taylor, he's got a lot of his dad in him with respect to the style he runs. Very, very good in short little spaces, very powerful. And if he gets out, he's got speed to take it to the house. I was a very young 18-year-old true freshman when I played with him, Brent. I want you to know that. I want everyone at home to know that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pass that along. First down and 10. Blitz. Got him on a release. Incomplete. And the pressure was coming from J.D. Harmon from Paducah, Kentucky.
Kentucky's done a great job.
Yeah,
they've done a great job disguising that. You see, J.D. Harmon was press coverage. Wasn't even peeking in the backfield. Jeff Driscoll had, or that line had zero idea that he was coming, and Driscoll very lucky to get that football off.
You know what the Gators better beware? Next week they go to Tuscaloosa.
Might be a corner blitz.
That blitz is especially of you know who.
There is no foul for pass interference. Incomplete pass. Second down.
It was a very athletic play by the Kentucky corner. It was Nate Willis, number 21. As you take a look at this, he appeared to almost jump over top of the back of the wide receiver. You see that? And he actually got his left hand on the football before I really think any major contact was made. I actually believe that's a very good call and a very good play by Nate Willis.
I totally agree with you, Jesse. Second down and 10. Come with Taylor. Can't get the edge. Thrown for a loss. And the crowd wants a late hit by that young man. Willis coming over.
Kelvin Taylor very slow to get up on that play. Go back and take a look. He brings this. This is an outside stretch play to the left. He tries to put his foot in the ground to cut it back up. Falls down. Right now he's down. And that is, that's a missed call. Yeah, that is a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit.
Reggie Ment.
You know what? You might even, that could have also been called with targeting because he led with the crown of his helmet and made forcible contact to the neck or head area of the defenseless player. Yeah, well, Muschamp not happy about that, and personally, I don't blame him. Florida very lucky right now. Kelvin Taylor able to get up okay and get off the field. But I think, Brent, Kentucky's very lucky. This Reggie Mentz is even in the game right now.
This head linesman's going to take some abuse. Remember, he's on the Florida sideline. And this is the targeting rule. And that would have been a personal foul. Contact initiated to the head or neck, but targeting with a hit by the crown. This would have been the crown of the helmet.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been unnecessary roughness, late hit with targeting and an ejection.
So Taylor's out. And so Jones now the running back. Snaps it off, and it is complete. And Robinson in a foot race.
So much of Kurt Roper's offense is getting playmakers the ball in space very quickly. They beat the blitz with the throw, and there's a true sophomore, Demarcus Robinson, with tremendous quicks for a 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver, showing you yards after the catch ability.
51 yards on that pass by Driscoll. He now has thrown for 84 yards here in the first quarter. Robinson with 3 catches for all 84. Jones. And he's to the 25-yard line. And Harmon, he's coming hard defensively.
No doubt. This is a physical game on both sides of the ball. And I'm very impressed right now just watching Jeff Driscoll in the rhythm that he's playing in. He seems to be seeing the game very, very well. He knows where he wants to go with his throws. He's done a good job dissecting the coverages. He's also taken some big shots.
Play action, Driscoll going deep to the end zone, incomplete, and Fullwood, the intended target that time.
Florida Gators have tried to challenge Kentucky deep down the field in this game. Jeff Driscoll's taken multiple shots. You saw one there to Fullwood. He tried Quentin Dunbar earlier in the game on a couple of occasions. This Kentucky defense doing a good job in these man-to-man situations outside. Now here's another 3rd and long. Remember, Kentucky's hit him now with some corner blitzes. They've been able to dial up some pressure. And again, these 2 tackles for Florida on the edge against superior pass rushers. Watch out. A lot of bodies close to the line of scrimmage here.
And here they come. Getting to Driscoll, intercepted. 40, 45, out of bounds near midfield. Nate Willis from Pahokee picks it off. But it was the pressure that got to Driscoll that time. He should have eaten it and lived to fight another day.
Pressure, you're absolutely right, Brent. Forced this turnover by Jeff Driscoll, and it came off the right side of the offensive line, just at the top here. Speed rush around the outside. Looked like Eric Dixon on the play. Sorry, it was Kendall Randolph, the true freshman. Then you're right. If you're Jeff Driscoll, you have to throw that football away, understanding the field position is at a prime. That was an easy interception and a missed opportunity for this Gator offense.
Boom Williams and Hurd. Braylon, the transfer from Nebraska's number 5. Williams, number 18. Quick throw to the Gators' 49-yard line. Michael Taylor with the defensive play for
Brent,
Florida.
You mentioned earlier Patrick Tolles, the quarterback, changed his mechanics this offseason so he could get the football out quicker, which in this air raid offense you've got to do all the quick screens. Changed his grip, changed where he carries the football, changed his footwork, and that's remarkable because you always hear about quarterbacks getting ready for the NFL. They change their mechanics when the lights go on, the bullets start flying, they go back to bad habits. Patrick Tolles has held on to good mechanics.
Tolles off play action, bought time, roll, juggled incomplete. Timmons working, had a shot at it, and couldn't hang on before he went out of bounds.
And that's a missed opportunity by Kentucky. Patrick Tolles had exactly what he wanted. He had his best wide receiver, Ryan Timmons, one-on-one with a safety, Marcus May, running that smash corner route, little play action, get the big 6'5" quarterback outside the pocket. This is a beautiful throw on the run. That's one you've got to come up with if you're Kentucky.
Rashad Cunningham off the bench for the Wildcats. Both Kemp and Hurd in as running backs, and we've got a timeout. So the Wildcats want to talk this over. Minute 15 left in the first. We're still scoreless in the Swamp.
I lived right behind there, Brent, when I played here. That was a good thing and a bad thing.
I hear you, my friend.
It's an institution.
3rd down and 7. Tolles almost intercepted by Neal. Neal with a crack at it.
It's the second time on 2 drives Patrick Tolles has gotten away throwing the football over the middle of the field into traffic when it very easily could have been intercepted. Again, this is not an easy defense to dissect, especially for a young quarterback and only his 3rd start, but you see a little frustration there in Patrick Tolles. We talked about the poise in this kind of environment. Would this moment be too big for him? He's got to settle himself down.
Hargraves awaits the punt. Great job of punting by Landon Foster, keeping the Gators buried. And here is the new offensive coordinator. He came from Duke. He and Coach Cutcliffe, they've been together for a long, long time.
Multiple, up-tempo, and balanced. I'd say those are the 3 stalwarts that Kurt Roper has always had wherever he's coached. He's known as a quarterback guru. He's worked with Eli Manning. A lot of quarterbacks he had at Duke went on to the National Football League. They're hoping Jeff Driscoll could be the next one to play on Sundays. That's been his biggest challenge, I think, this offseason, getting him up to speed in this brand new offense in this big year.
Maria Taylor says Kelvin Taylor wants to go back in, but Matt Jones stays in as the Gator running back. And here is Jones, 20, 25, and out of bounds at about the 27-yard line, and Stoops was not happy on that run.
This is Matt Jones kind of party. We keep talking about this being a physical game. This 6'2", 235-pound running back is a bruiser, loves to go north-south. Florida needs to rely on him a little bit right now. They've missed some plays, some shot plays in the passing game. Got to get that running game established. Matt Jones is a good guy to do that with.
Again, Jones shakes off that first tackler. You said he was a bruiser.
Yeah, no, he's north-south, and he doesn't mess around. He's a north-south one-cut runner that wants to punish a defense. Last year, the Gators really missed him. Got hurt in the LSU game, missed the rest of the year, but he brings a different dimension to this offense and a physicality that they'd lacked for a few years before he arrived.
Final seconds of the first quarter ticking away. Florida, a big favorite. Kentucky hanging tough.
It's all about the sound. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Carolina, don't you wanna be?
And here we are scoreless as we start the second quarter. Jeff Driscoll back in at quarterback, and during this quarter, of course, Tim Tebow is also going to join us up here in the booth. We'll talk a little football. We'll have some fun. Second down and 4. Jones short of the first down, and that was Za'Darius Smith, number 94, big timer.
Yeah, I'm really curious right now to see how Jeff Driscoll responds on this drive after throwing that bad interception on their last possession. One thing that's kind of haunted him throughout his career have been turnovers and not being able to move on to the next play, letting bad plays compound themselves one after another. This is a very important third down conversion for the Gators to get. It's important that Jeff Driscoll gets back on track.
Going to try to throw for it. Incomplete. Dunbar, and Kentucky was not fooled.
Kentucky's getting tremendous push up the field from their front seven. I think that disrupted the relationship between Dunbar and Jeff Driscoll on that play. It was way shorter than I think what Jeff Driscoll would have wanted. Kind of made it an awkward throw. Nonetheless, that's when you think Jeff Driscoll could complete. But again, give this Kentucky defense tons of credit. Anybody at home that didn't believe they were good on D, you got a fake here potential.
They're going to go right now. Jones moves up under center, see if they can draw him off. They did not. Now he backs over and takes a look at the sideline. Christie.
Delay of game. Offense.
So they'll take the delay of
5-yard
game.
penalty. Still 4th down.
Usually you take that delay of game with a little bit better field position than what the Gators had right there. That ball was only at the 35. This will take it on back to the 30. But then again, Christie is one of the best punters in the SEC.
You got to give Kentucky credit there on special teams too, kind of staying put. How often do we watch these games and a guy comes up last second, starts barking signals, and somebody jumps off sides? You give your opponent a free first down. Very well coached team this Kentucky team looks like right now by head coach Mark Stoops and his staff.
Robinson standing on the Wildcat 25-yard line. Christie drives him back. Fair catch is the signal at the 17-yard line. So when you come back to Gainesville, Mr. Tebow will join us for a couple of segments. The man's a legend in these parts. Trio of pretty good Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Steve Spurrier back in 1966. You know, he also kicked for the Gators back in that day. He's busy right now. How about Danny Werfel? Won a national championship here with the Gators. He played for the head ball coach. And then, of course, most recently, Man needs no introduction. Tim Tebow. Pleasure to have you here, Tim.
My
I want to
pleasure.
congratulate you. You're doing really good as a broadcaster.
I appreciate it, man.
What's going on, man?
Thanks for
I like
letting me
the
join
style.
you. I appreciate it. Man, I can't look as good as the two
No,
of y'all.
you figured it out. No tie, running shoes, some
I was
jeans.
dressed up earlier.
I got to figure this out.
Tim, stick around with us. I know earlier today when you were here on the SEC Nation, you picked Spurrier in South Carolina to beat Georgia, and they're hanging on right now.
Well, I really thought Spurrier was going to come out and he was going to be Spurrier. He was going to spread it out. He was going to make plays. He was going to go 4 verticals and Steelers right down the field. And he's done that. You know, and I think the team has really stepped up and had a lot of momentum at home.
Well, stick with us here, and Jesse, they go ahead on the first down with Pittman, the ball carrier now for Kentucky. And Jesse, your feeling about how the Wildcats are playing here so far?
Well, they're playing very physical on defense, and offensively, I think we've seen some creativity. They've done a good job moving Patrick Tolles around, getting the football out. In that last play, you saw DeMarco Robinson getting a jet sweep, trying to find different ways to see if they can crease this Florida defense. I think by far, if you've watched Kentucky at all last year, if you're watching tonight, you're saying to yourself, they are way improved on defense, and they're way improved on offense as well.
Second down and 6.
Second charge timeout, Kentucky.
Well, we've got a moment, and I've got 2 who can answer the Aflac.
Oh,
you know,
I get some help.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I always do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. How many Florida Gator quarterbacks have started an NFL game since 1990? Hey,
All right, get ready.
I want to give all the fans a hint.
Since 1990?
I got 2 of them right here. Okay, I got 2 of them.
So
Since 1990.
let's count them. Shane Matthews.
Shane Matthews,
Danny
Werfel, Rex Grossman, the 2 of us,
Okay.
Doug Johnson.
Doug Johnson is another one.
Wow. I'm telling you, this is impressive.
I think that's it.
Do we just knock it out like that? Are you
How many
kidding
did you
me?
name?
6.
I think that was 6.
I think that was it.
Boom.
Guys,
Brent, don't come with that weak stuff.
I'm getting overrun up here.
Don't come with that weak
Holy
stuff up in here,
Toledo. Did you get inside information when you were down the way?
I was thinking maybe Eric Kresser, but he didn't.
No, I thought about that too, but
Yeah.
I don't think he started a game at Florida.
And then your guy, Noah Brindise.
Noah Brimby,
He
yeah.
played, never started.
Terry Dean.
Terry Dean.
Going
Listen
old
to
school.
these. All right, guys, second down and 6 here. Tolles throwing downfield, and this will be. They're going to
He got a
signal
foot
right
in.
there. Got him at the 47-yard line.
It was a really good touch pass by Tolles. And it was man-to-man.
Working one-on-one with Brian Poole outside. It's a good throw, and the receiver did a nice job giving the quarterback room to drop that football in. You see here, Robinson again. Did he get 1 foot down? He looks like he did.
And it was stopped. Al Ford, a veteran referee, both of you had Al work your games
yeah.
when you were here. He is the replay official up here.
When you see how Kentucky was trying to
The
go
ruling on the
fast.
field of a completed pass is under further review.
Kentucky wanted to snap a ball as quickly as they could, so there would be no replay. Referees are going to go back, take a look at this. So he's dragging his feet, it looks like, as he's making the catch. The question is, did that right foot come up off the ground when he had possession? Take a look. He starts dragging it there. Now he's got the ball, and that foot's down on the ground. I think he has possession right now. I think that's a catch. I think that's going to stand. Remember, you need conclusive video evidence to overturn the call on the field. Call on the field was a catch. Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to get.
You agree, Tim?
I agree. And that just goes to show you that a great throw is always better than great coverage. That's really good coverage that he had on that receiver, but a great throw in the receiver giving his quarterback an opportunity to throw it on the outside shoulder, and there you have a big play.
DeMarco Robinson makes a fine play on this. Guys, he's a good-looking
Hey, listen,
receiver.
Good-looking receiver.
Kentucky has guys this year at wide receiver that scare you flat out. Last year, these wide receivers couldn't get open. This year, there are multiple guys, not just DeMarco Robinson. You're talking about Ryan Timmons, Javis Blue, Dorian Baker, Blake Bone. They've got a couple of running backs, and Braylon Hurd and JoJo Kemp. Mark Stoops there on the left has recruited. He's helped develop these young players, and it shows up on game day.
I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Patrick Tolles as well.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
I think it's a good call. And a great play and a well-deserved play. There's no defense for a perfect pass. How about that? That's a great Trent Dilfer used to always say in San Francisco.
27 yards on that. Wildcats close to midfield. Running game, but only for a yard is the middle of the Gator defense hold.
When Kentucky runs the ball, they do want to run it up the middle. They believe their three best offensive linemen are their center and both guards. And you're talking about two freshmen and a sophomore, but these are big guys that get pushed. And remember, Florida is probably at its weakest and least experienced in the middle. They lost Sharif Floyd, Dominic Beasley to the NFL draft in recent years.
Going to the right sideline, incomplete, and Javis Blue, the intended receiver, and good to see him on the field. He too was injured, missed some playing time.
So this Kentucky offense finding a bit of a swagger maybe. Early in the game, short little throws, trying to get the quarterback confident. And all of a sudden now they're saying, you know what, your corners don't scare us. We're going to take some shots because we got playmakers on the perimeter of the field also.
Third and 9, pressure, and almost intercepted as a result of that pressure. And that was Gorman who had a shot at the interception.
Oh, Dante Fowler Jr. came flying off
Great
the edge,
move.
number 6. You're going to see right here. We talked about him being the best pass rusher for Florida. And Eron Ball also, you're going to see at the very top, number 6 does a nice move inside. And then the speed coming from the outside from linebacker Neron Ball, who in passing situations will play defensive end. There are some freak shows coming off the edge here in Gainesville for these Florida Gators on defense this year.
So what we have here, Battle of the Punters. Landon Foster for Kentucky, Kyle Christie for Florida, both really good punters. DeBose is back deep this time for the Gators. Fair catch at that 14-yard line. Foster again seals up the Gators. Still scoreless. Affleck, you and I got torched tonight. Affleck. How many Florida Gator quarterbacks started an NFL game? These guys, Tim Tebow and Jesse Palmer, all over it. There they are. The 6 of them right there.
You did, in fairness, go right into our wheelhouse, though. I mean, Brent, in the last couple of weeks, he's been pulling out some questions that have just been out of nowhere. I mean, my guy can go deep and find some questions.
Meanwhile, South Carolina trying to clean up what would be an upset victory over Georgia. In that game, there's about 1:17 to go. As soon as it goes final, we'll let you know. 38-35, big game in the SEC East. So is this. It has turned into a battle. And now Driscoll and the Gators will see what they can do. Taylor back on the field after being shaken up at the 20-yard line.
Well, that's about the 3rd or 4th time in this second quarter that they've ran power, and it's something that they're really trying to get going. I think it's because Driscoll struggled a little bit early in this game, and with his deep shots and forcing the ball a little bit instead of giving his receivers a chance. He probably just has a little nerves, feeling the pressure of last year 4-8 and forcing it a little bit down the field.
He's only 3 of 12 to back up Tim's point, and he has thrown 1 interception.
Power again.
And this time,
I like it.
First down, and Taylor running hard.
I think something, too, guys. Early in this game, they've gotten behind the chains because of penalties. We had a sack earlier. And those were 3rd and long situations that just aren't very convertible. Now, all of a sudden, you let this offensive line kind of get into a groove. We know we got some new bodies playing up front, but these guys can be physical.
Sticking right on the ground.
Same play. Different formation, same play. I think you got to give Mark Stoops and this defense a lot of credit. They have come out here and their front seven has played very physical, but they've also mixed it up. They've played 3-4, 4-3. They've changed their coverage almost every other play. They're very multiple.
It's a complex scheme.
Congratulations, Mr. Tebow. South Carolina 38, Georgia 35.
Spurrier does it again.
Unbelievable.
He's magical versus Georgia.
And Jesse, we will see South Carolina next week at Nashville. They'll be a big favorite on Vandy. This time, Tim, they stopped Taylor.
It's going to be a big third down here. Power again.
Yeah, they brought that corner blitz from the short field, which we've seen Kentucky do multiple times in this game now. Now here it is, just mano-a-mano. Last time in this situation in the last drive, Florida tried to get Jeff Driscoll on the perimeter, missed an easy throw to Quentin Dunbar. Do the Gators have enough confidence to just line up and try to run this football down Kentucky's throat? Last year they would have done this no problem. Tonight, this Kentucky front's given them some issues.
Power again. They like it, and they're going to stick with it.
As long as they can move the chains, why not?
You know, Tim, you mentioned something a second ago about same play, different formations. I think one thing we've seen from Kurt Roper in this game, multiple looks. They like to play with a tight end and one running back on the field with 3 wide receivers. They stay in the same personnel group, but they move them around in a lot of different looks, giving the defense different pictures.
And it also really simplifies it for the offense, but it's confusing for the defense because they just say same play, but we're running it out of this or this formation. But as a defense, it looks completely different.
Move the pocket to the right, snaps it off complete for another first down, and out of bounds Robinson.
There's another example of creative play calling by Kurt Roper. You're not always going to drop back Jeff Driscoll 5 to 9 yards behind the center. Move the pocket a little bit, change the launch point, so this Kentucky defense can't just pin their ears back, take dead aim.
That's also playing to one of Jeff's strengths, throwing on the run, getting him on the move, and letting him use his athleticism.
First down for the Gators. Driscoll from the Wildcat 40 hands it off, and Jones breaks a tackle. 30, 23-yard line.
One thing that was interesting there is they did the same motion, but instead of running power, their fullback backed up about 1.5 yards more than he had last, and they ran counter back the other way. Something Kurt Roper's trying to do to change it up a little bit.
And it's picking up the physicality of this Florida offense. When you got a 235-pound running back head hunting in the secondary, that's demoralizing.
Corners back off. Driscoll keeps it, smacked at the 20-yard line. And
the interesting about that play that they just ran was the exact same play as the play before for everybody on the field except the quarterback and the running back. They switched responsibilities. For the offensive line, it was the exact same counter play.
And I think it's interesting. I think fans expected Jeff Driscoll to be running the football a lot more than he has in these first 2 games. That's the first time he's carried it tonight. He only carried it twice last week against Eastern Michigan. Trying to limit the wear and tear in his body. Let the running backs do the work.
2nd and 7. Jones again. And he is stopped at about the 18-yard line, and that will bring up the 3rd down again.
We talked about the speed of Bud Dupree, number 2 for Kentucky, coming off the edge. He's the opposite of Dante Fowler Jr. for Florida. I think this guy's a first-round pick. Total freak show at 6'4", 265 pounds. He has a 40.5-inch vertical jump. Those are Tim Tebow numbers.
And when you see him warming up pregame, he is on the all-looks team. He looks like a beast out there.
Wildcat defense facing a 3rd and 5. Driscoll, incomplete. It's 4th down.
I mean, Kentucky has a lot of confidence. This is several times they've come out in this 2nd quarter and they said, we're going to match up man for man and we're going to have a whole player. They had no free safety back. They had no one in the secondary. They said, we're going to play man for man and your receivers have to beat us. And so far they haven't.
Kyle Crawford, he will hold here. Velez will attempt a 35-yarder. Francisco Velez. That's good. 3-0. The Gators with the lead. Tim, this has been a real pleasure. And out in Montana, we collect autographs of famous people. Will you hold this for me a little bit?
Of course I would.
Jesse, will you sign that?
Absolutely.
Will you sign it for me, please?
I'm here with the legends.
That just devalued your helmet.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely.
Tim, go be famous. Okay?
Good luck with Good Morning America.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Hey, you guys over there, get Tim to sign this on the one door out. No, I'm just kidding. And Paul Feinbaum. You don't want to miss that group as they get ready for the Florida-Alabama showdown next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And for those of you who watched that scintillating victory by South Carolina, we welcome you to the Swamp. The Gators, and it hasn't been easy, have taken a field goal lead, 3-0 right now in another SEC East showdown. Harmon and Boom Williams are back deep to return this kickoff. Be down to the end zone for a touchback, come out to 25. Now, Dari Noka, let's go to the studio. And Dari, how in the world did South Carolina pull that off?
Well, guys, a monster win for them.
They look like a completely different unit. The defense had some different alignments. They were running the football, being physical.
Now, Kemp is the running back for Kentucky. Play action. Tolles strikes for a first down, and that's Dorian Baker's first catch. You know, Jess, we should point out that East Carolina stunned Virginia Tech today.
Yeah.
So that victory South Carolina turned in last week.
Right, against East Carolina.
Yes.
I mean, this is a different South Carolina team, no doubt. The SEC completely wide open. As you take a look at Patrick Tolles' numbers, I've been pretty impressed watching him tonight with the exception of 2 throws he forced over the middle of the field. This young quarterback making his 3rd start, he's looked all right.
Kemp to the 42-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down. Hargraves makes the stop.
This is one of those games. It feels like you're watching Ravens versus Steelers, doesn't it? Defensive war. It kind of comes down to which quarterback, which offense can convert 3rd downs and make the least mistakes.
How about Seahawks 49ers?
Oh, yeah. You're going to NFC West on me, huh? Couldn't have said that.
I like to represent the Northwest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Represent. I hear it.
2nd down and 8 for Tolles. Beautiful run by Kemp.
I think the one thing Kentucky wants to be this year is a more physical offense, Brent. Last year, their offensive line averaged 290 pounds. You see JoJo Kemp-John a little bit. Again, the familiarity with some guys he knows on this Florida defense. Emotions running high. He's got to back up what he spoke, how he talked. Runs like that last run, that was impressive. That'll help him.
Coach didn't like that. And Hurd will come in now with Josh Clemens. Here's your 3rd and 4. Coming around with Timmons and throwing for a loss. Well read by Marcus May.
That time Kentucky lines up in a power formation. You think they're going to run it right down your throat. Instead, they try to use speed on the outside. Handing the football off to Timmons, who plays wide receiver. But again, Florida also loaded with speed on their side of the ball. There's Marcus May, who's already made a couple plays early in this game.
Landon Foster again, and Dubo's back. Standing inside the Gator 15. Fair catch, this time at the 19-yard line. So another time the Gators will start inside the 20. They lead by a field goal.
At the half. We'll see you then, guys.
All right, thank you. And here are the Gators with 200 yards of offense and only 89 for the Wildcats. So the Gators again with an impressive defense this year. Matt Jones will be the Gator running back. Driscoll waits for a receiver to clear on the sideline, out of bounds.
Gators came out in this game with the intent of throwing the football, but they shot themselves in the foot early. There were some drop passes here. Burton, the tight end, earlier on a huge third down. Pittman has the drop, and then quarterback Jeff Driscoll and his receiver DeMarcus Robinson not on the same page. Then we saw a philosophical shift. The last couple drives, getting back to running the football and being more physical up the middle of the field. I think the Gators need to get back to running the ball to set up play-action passing opportunities to allow Jeff Driscoll to take advantage of.
2nd and 10. Gets to the edge with Fullwood. Short of the first down. Tiller with the stop for the Wildcats.
And right now, Brent, I don't know if Kentucky really respects Florida's ability to throw it, because you're starting to see a lot of white jerseys crowded really close to the line of scrimmage. There's some one-on-one matchups outside. Jeff Driscoll's tried to hit deep down the field, but as you saw 2 snaps ago to Quentin Dunbar, they just can't hit on. And until they do, these Kentucky corners, these DBs are not going to back off. Here comes another corner blitz, bottom of the screen.
Jones for the first down.
So Florida decided they wanted to be a lot more physical a few drives ago. Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones working, pulling offensive linemen, springing these physical running backs into the second level. White jerseys aren't touching them until they're 8 yards downfield. You're going to tackle a 235-pound running back. That's a business decision, as Fred Tiller finds out right there. But I think they need to get back to this. Keep the third downs manageable and help wear down this Kentucky defense.
Jones. Down at the 40, Forrest.
You heard Tim talking earlier about the power play, pulling backside linemen to the front side of the formation. Right there is a counter example. Taking front side guards and tackles and moving them to the backside of the formation, moving pieces, getting extra blockers at the point of attack for this Florida offense. And right now, it's working these last several drives.
The disparity in total yards here in the first half. Throws for the first down, and again it is DeMarcus Robinson from Fort Valley, Georgia.
And that's another run play that was called. That time, Tim Tebow, thinking about him. Jeff Driscoll just looked outside. He saw DeMarcus Robinson with a big cushion. He has the ability and the option worked into this run game. If you've got a wide receiver outside with nobody close to him, just pitch it to him. It's as good as a run. It's an easy first down.
Fresh set of legs. Taylor checks in. Motions. Looking for him on the edge. In trouble. And throws it away. Kentucky responding like it was a lateral. And McLean goes into the end zone, but that was a forward pass.
Yeah, and Jeff Driscoll was still in the pocket, so I think Kentucky might have been thinking intentional grounding. I think it's what Mark Stoops might be thinking if that wasn't a lateral, but there was a running back in the vicinity of this play. Take a look again. Driscoll actually, I think, wanted to run a screen. This is supposed to be a double screen. Pump down here. He wanted to throw the receiver screen up top to Dunbar. He never looked at him. So he kind of spit it out. Now the question is, was there a receiver in the vicinity of that throw from inside the pocket? I think there was.
We have a player injured on the far side of the field.
You know, it's hot, isn't it? It's humid.
It is muggy.
I mean, it would not shock me at all if these guys are cramping up. And you know, we talk about having to have depth, having to have conditioning, and both of these coaches are going to be rolling in different players. You've got to be deep. Early games in the SEC here in the Swamp, early September, and it is muggy.
Mark Stoops of the Stoops coaching family. Bob in Oklahoma. Mike is with him now. Mike, with one time, was the head coach at Arizona. I believe that's Douglas, who's down on the ground. We'll double check. Here's a reminder to tune in Sunday. The SEC Network brings you a rewind of a classic SEC game, LSU Kentucky, the Bluegrass Miracle. LSU pulling it out as time runs out to defeat Kentucky. You Wildcat fans might want to skip the end of that game.
Oh.
All right. Huh?
Is that unbelievable? I remember that. I remember watching that live. I couldn't believe it. I almost got up and left the apartment because I figured Kentucky had won.
It's kind of stunning.
Yeah. Hail Marys, man.
Yeah.
So you assume that's just a cramp. That's good news if it's Kentucky, because Mike Douglas is starting defensive tackle. He's a big-time player. We talked about how well this Kentucky front was playing in the first quarter. Now remember, they've been getting the football run down their throat a little bit. Now you've got Mike Douglas out of the lineup. You've got to go into your reserves. Is that something that Florida decides they want to take advantage of here?
Here is a freshman nose man I wanted to see, Matt Elam.
Oh, yeah. You can't miss him.
Exactly.
6'7".
Elam, folks, he's 375.
Is that possible? Look at this guy. He's a true freshman. 6'7", 375.
Nick Saban, among others, called. He said, nah, I'm going to stay home. They're glad to have him up in Lexington. Pretty good push there by the young man, didn't you think?
Yeah, good push by him. And again, Bud Dupree, number 2, lining up outside at defensive end, stunting and twisting inside. You're going to see right here Bud Dupree twisting this way inside, trying to confuse and really give some headaches. There wasn't even really much of a twist there. There's just a gap he ran through. You see the freshman right tackle, Rod Johnson, knew that he had a busted assignment on that.
3rd down and 10. In underneath to Robinson, but he's going to be cut off at midfield, and it's 4th down for the Gators. McClain there for the Wildcats.
The one thing that jumped out to me watching film about Kentucky's defense was speed everywhere. And if Kentucky in this game can set up 3rd and long, and they can force Jeff Driscoll to drop the football down, Kentucky can keep it in front of them. They've got the speed required to run mano-a-mano with these playmakers and make stops.
Driscoll 7 of 20 on the game. Robinson is back deep for the Wildcats, back around their own 10-yard line. There it is, loosening up. And it'll be Christie's turn as the punting battle continues here.
Wow.
That's not a good sign to see Dupree
no, that's
walk
not.
toward the locker room.
He's probably their best player, period, if you're Kentucky. And you look over at a future 1st-round pick walking into the tunnel, that forces you to hold your breath if you're the Kentucky Wildcats.
Fair catch, Robinson at the 10-yard line. It's been tough going against these punters. Well, Monday at 7 on the SEC Network, join Dari Noka, Maria Taylor, Gene Chizik, Matt Stinchcomb. They discuss all the SEC news of the day on SEC Now. Stories for Monday, of course, they'll hand out the honors, offensive, defensive, O-line, D-line, freshman, special teams player. And they'll talk about Georgia, South Carolina in that battle for the East, won by South Carolina. And then coming up, Auburn to Kansas State Thursday. Jesse, you'll be there.
Yeah,
if Florida, Bama, SEC National set the stage there. Mississippi State, LSU, key games. And then you and I will have a cold one in Nashville, and we'll welcome the Gamecocks. Braylon Hurd.
And the hottest team in the SEC.
Absolutely.
Vanderbilt getting their first win this year. Congratulations, Derek Mason.
Here's Hurd, bounces off a would-be tackler. He's got a great burst. Out to the 22-yard line, Hargraves with the stop, and Braylon Hurd considered Pittsburgh when he decided to transfer. He transferred from Nebraska because Burkhead and Abdullah were ahead of him. So he wanted someplace where he could play and where his mother could drive to games. He's from Youngstown. And Fowler, again, you've talked about Fowler, Jesse.
Well, Braylon Hurd used to play in the Big Ten. He just got introduced to the SEC. And there's big Dante Fowler Jr. at 6'3", 260, guys. Tremendous speed, jump off of the ball. He's explosive. He's been living in this Kentucky backfield all game long.
Tolles is 6 of 12 for 54 yards. He'll be looking for someone to get open quickly against this Gator defense. And they do. 1st down, DeMarco Robinson.
It's going to be really close. And I said it a little while ago. There's a Gator player down on the field. Oh, he looks like Vernon Hargraves, who I think the best cornerback in the SEC is. So we've seen 2 key guys here go down recently. Bud Dupree from Kentucky, and now maybe another cramp. It looks like it is. Again, we can't stress the people at home enough. It is very, very hot and humid here. I mean, they don't call it the swamp for nothing.
And Douglas and Dupree, we get word from Maria on both sidelines down there. Cramps.
Yeah.
So for the Kentucky fans now,
Yeah.
That's really good news. Well, you know, it's never good when Dupree's not around, but it is cramps, we're told. And now we've got Hargreaves. You talked about him being one of the best corners in the SEC, which automatically makes him one of the best corners in the country.
Absolutely right. He was a third-team All-American as a true freshman last year. And now, 2-minute situation, critical drive for Kentucky, trying to generate points before they go in at halftime. You've got your best cornerback, certainly your best player in the secondary, walking off gingerly, trying to handle what we think is a cramp.
Tabor replaces Hargreaves for the time being.
And Tabor's a true freshman. He's the number 4 ranked cornerback coming out of high school. He's very, very talented, but only a true freshman.
He's showing bump and run here. Can Tolles get enough time? Hurd and Kemp. Kemp motions out. Play action. Tolles fires high, far side. Got it. Ryan Timmons on that sideline makes the catch. Another well-thrown ball. If Tolles can get time and his receivers can find some daylight, the Gators have to beware, especially with Hargreaves off the field. They went right after that corner for 26 yards.
Brent, it's the second time Tolles has found his favorite receiver, Ryan Timmons, one-on-one with a safety.
On the field of a completed pass is under further review.
So they want to take a look at this sideline play just to make sure that he was in bounds on the play.
You know what I love about this throw, Brent? He gives his receiver a chance. He gets air under it. It's a back shoulder throw. The receiver, again, that's a catch. He's got possession. Looks like that left foot got down first. But you see here just giving his receiver an opportunity. Doesn't overthrow the football. You see the left foot. Looked like it got down right there. It's down in bounds. Doesn't look to me like it's touching the white line. And that's 2 beautiful deep throws we've seen from Patrick Tolles here tonight.
So going back to last season and here in the first half, and for you Kentucky fans, you remember.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
You remember how Kentucky scored their only touchdown in what would be 6 quarters of football unless the Wildcats strike here. You remember, Jesse?
I don't. What'd they do?
It was a fake field goal. It was a toss over the shoulder of the holder and the kicker. He got the rest done for him. That they struck early, and then the Gators took over in a 24-7 win. Kemp and Hurd, the running backs, first down and 10. Wildcats on the move. Tolles forced out of the pocket. Remember, he's a great runner. He'll step out of bounds and stop the clock.
Dante Fowler Jr. again creating the pressure on that play, forcing Tolles to step up. But good awareness by this quarterback, only in his 3rd start, understanding 2-minute situation. He's not going to throw the ball away. He's getting out of bounds. He's stopping the clock, not having to burn a timeout. They only have 1 left. It's a heads-up play.
He's got Hurd alongside. He's got a 2nd and 9, 1 minute to work with, and 1 timeout. Here comes pressure. Hurd tries to pick him up, couldn't. If that's a fumble, recovered. Fowler was in on top of him, and it was recovered by Kentucky.
Fowler's a freak show. And again, just like Bud Dupree from Kentucky, they line him up all over the field. This time they line him up at the middle linebacker position, right over the middle of the screen. See number 6. He just shoots and fires through the gap. I'll tell you this right now. It is a bad matchup. If Braylon Hurd, who weighs 189 pounds, is picking up a 260-pound Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah, he's going to learn how to cut those running backs
no doubt.
when they come through. And it's 3rd down and 15.
Fowler again lined up at middle linebacker right over the ball.
This time they pick him up. Tolles complete to the 20-yard line. And Bone. There's a great name, folks. That's Blake Bone.
I am so impressed. You got 2 players down on the field right now. And one of them is Dante Fowler Jr. for the Florida Gators.
And the other is one of the blockers.
Kyle Meadows.
Yeah.
The backup right tackle. Little collision. But Brent, very impressed with Patrick Tolles understanding where his best matchups are and exploiting them. We've seen 2 deep throws early when he had a wide receiver in the slot. Timmons lined up against the safety. And on this play, he goes out to his true freshman receiver, Blake Bone, at 6'5", lined up against true freshman Jalen Tabor that we talked about earlier in the game for Vernon Hargreaves. So we go back and take a look at this again. Bottom of the screen, 2 true freshmen, 165, 161. That's an easy decision. And he underthrows it on purpose, giving his receiver a chance to come back and make the play. Now, let's take a look at what happened. Up at the front, you're going to see Fowler Jr. Oh, he rolls into the back leg of Kyle Meadows, and he gets landed on in the process by Jordan Swindle.
That's how Humphreys injured himself last week. He was rolled up from behind, and McGee suffered a season-ending injury, that broken leg for the Gators that tied in. And here we go now, folks. We got 13 seconds and counting on down toward 10. We got a first down. They are within field goal range. Lobbing it end zone, Bone, and he was juggling it incomplete. Had a crack at it inbounds and couldn't control it. Tabor, the defensive back, and we come down to 2 seconds, and here comes the field goal unit.
It's the two true freshmen again. It's a good idea again by Tolles. This time, though, his 6'5" target, Bone, can't catch it clean the first time. Give Jalen Tabor credit. He's out there battling with a bigger, more physical wide receiver with his head turned. It's a good, clean play on defense, setting up the field goal.
Austin McGinnis for the tie. Jared Leet is the holder. This is a 35-yarder. We are deadlocked at the intermission. And the Kentucky Wildcats have to feel real good about that first half. 3-3 here in the Swamp. South Carolina already upsetting Georgia here tonight. And Coach Stoops is with Maria. Let's go to Maria.
Coach, essentially a 2-minute drill to end out the half. What did you see in that final offensive possession?
Well, it was nice to see some guys go up and make some plays. It was big for us to get those 3 points. They've been really stymieing us most of the half, so to get 3, that was important for us.
Well, you only allowed 3 points on the other side of the ball. How would you characterize what you're seeing so far to your defense?
We're doing some good things. They're starting to hit some power run game that we got to get fixed up here at half, but overall it's been a good effort.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Frankie Velez of Florida and Austin McGinnis of Kentucky exchanged 35-yard field goals. And we are tied at the intermission. Now let's send you to the studio, Dari Noka for the Regions Bank halftime report. Take it away, Dari.
All right, Brent, Jesse, thank you much. Maria, thank you.
It's all about the sound. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Carolina. Don't you wanna get down and dirty? It's Florida out west. You know it's your Tennessee whiskey. Crank it up loud.
More punts than points here in Gainesville. 11 punts in the first half. Kentucky 1 of 7 on third down. Florida 3 of 10. And so as we welcome you back, I'm Brent Musburger with Jesse Palmer. Jesse, a little defensive battle.
A little defensive struggle. Welcome to the SEC. But we're seeing two very good units with a lot of speed and very creative systems on each side of the ball have their way so far. I think both front sevens have been very dominant. Kentucky has been very impressive. You've seen their speed with Zadarius Smith right there, getting a push, forcing Jeff Driscoll to not be able to throw on time. Bud Dupree making his presence known early in that first half. And then, of course, the pressure led to the only turnover we saw in the first half of this football game as well. Defensively for Florida, they've also been dominant in the front, and it's really shown up in their running game. The Kentucky's tried to run up the middle, no dice. They try to get outside with some speed. The secondary from Florida was there at the point of attack to make plays. And then, of course, number 6, Dante Fowler Jr. has been living in the backfield early in this first half as well, Brent. You just kind of get the feeling, this kind of game, the way people are playing defense, it's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. And right now, this is the one to me that's really glaring. 1 turnover from Florida. They also have 4 penalties. Kentucky only has 1. Who plays the smartest football in the second half, I think, will determine the winner.
Maria, you spoke with Coach Muschamp.
Yeah, you guys already mentioned it. His biggest concern right now are the mistakes on offense. He said they had 2 missed protections and they had too many dropped balls. They have to be prepared to make plays here in the second half. But good news for the Gators. Vernon Hargraves and also Dante Fowler Jr., they were just cramping. Coach Muschamp said they're fine here for the second half, guys.
All right, thank you, Maria. And, of course, Fowler, Hargraves, 2 huge figures in the Gator defense. And they will go on defense to start the second half because Kentucky won the toss, deferred, so they will get the ball. And back deep, Harmon and Boom Williams. his veteran teammate said, let's take a touchback right here on this one. Young man deadlocked at 3. Patrick Towles coming out. He was 9 of 16 for 119 yards, but he found it very, very tough going at times against that defensive front.
Sure did, and it wasn't easy running the football. So a lot of his hay had to come through the air, and it had to come deep down the field. That's where I was most impressed with Patrick Towles. We talked about the poise in this young quarterback making just his 3rd start on the road in a hostile environment. I thought he was very composed for the most part in that first half. Took a lot of hits, throwing under duress. He's been pretty impressive. He's going to have to be real tough here in the second half. He's not going to slow down.
Both Hargraves and Fowler are back defensively. Hurd is the running back, and he gets the first carry. And he crosses the 25-yard line with Antonio Morrison hitting him first.
You're seeing again, though, inside penetration from the defensive line. Jonathan Bullard again forcing Hurd to take a sidestep and lose all of his forward momentum, and that allows the speed from Florida's defense to gather around, make a stop. This Kentucky offensive line has to get tougher. They have to start to assert themselves up front because they're getting beat right now.
Quick throw to the edge, and it is complete to Timmons, and Timmons barges for the first down. So it looks like they might go outside to the edge. Some of these little screens out here.
And you know why, Brent? Because that's basically a sweep play. It's an extension of the running game, getting the football out quick. You're not having success inside. Take a look outside. You got access. There's Timmons. Nice throw. Quick decision by Towles. And again, improved skill at these positions, wide receiver and running back for Kentucky this year. And I think that's showing up in this game.
T.V. Williams, the slot receiver to the left. And he goes in underneath to Robinson. And Robinson short of the first down. Brian Poole, number 24.
Kentucky early here going to the quick passing game, trying to get the ball out of Towles' hands quickly and outside. And again, with these skill players Kentucky has, it now puts tremendous pressure on Florida's defense to make tackles in space. You can't miss one of these guys. They can take it to the house. Fundamentals and tackling are going to be big for Florida's D here.
On the boundary, Hargraves will take Robinson. That's to the quarterback's left. They'll run with Hurd trying to get the edge. He's got the first down, breaks a tackle, and he's to the 49-yard line.
He's got tremendous speed, and he's got a burst. And what's impressive is he's not playing 100%. High ankle sprain on a 43-yard touchdown run he had week 1 against UT Martin, but he's out here toughing it out, trying to help this football team get a win.
JoJo Kemp replaces him. Now they both stay in. So Kemp and Hurd will be alongside Towles. Play action. Crossing, almost intercepted. He threw into coverage as he was trying to hit Dorian Baker. We check in down below with Maria.
Injury updates for Kentucky. Right tackle Kyle Meadows. He's got an ankle sprain. The situation's undetermined. They'll see how he feels as he runs around out here. And left tackle Darian Miller. He has a stinger. Again, they're trying to see how he responds. Both guys are out here on the sideline right now.
So in at that left tackle spot is Nick Haynes, a redshirt freshman from Niceville, Florida. Steps into a very, very big spot. To the right and incomplete. Hargraves, the cover corner, and he's as good as it gets as a cornerback.
He's everything you look for, Brent. He's got tremendous instincts, quick feet, speed, can change direction. He's one of those types of guys that can take one side of the field completely away. They're going to need him to make some big plays here in the second half.
John Toth, the center. Kemp, the running back. This is 3rd and long. Passing situation.
Where's number 6 at the top of the screen up here?
And penalty flag comes. Jordan Swindle was backing out as Blake Bone, but I think he might have been a false start.
False start. Number 70, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And that is because of the movement of Fowler.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, all of these Kentucky offensive linemen right now are in high alert. You know, that they're probably not looking forward to it when this number 6 lines up in front of them. He's moved all around the field. And again, He's just so explosive, playing at home, and it's hard for this offensive line to hear the signals from the quarterback. It's a big disadvantage when you play an environment like this. And Dante Fowler's had his way. Now this big mistake sets up a 3rd 15.
There's number 6 now. Now he's standing up, moving in toward the left side of the nose man. Going to try to come up that A gap. Got picked up this time. Intercepted at the 30-yard line. Poole picks it off to the 39-yard line.
We talked about which team would make the fewest mistakes. We'll probably come away with this win in Kentucky here with a few mistakes early in the second half. Patrick Towles had success in the first half throwing the back shoulder go ball. Here he's trying to find Blake Bone at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see the big 6'5" true freshman at the bottom. There's the go ball. He throws it up looking for the back shoulder. But Brian Poole, the corner, was playing off, and he kept his eyes in the backfield, so he was able to track the ball, find it, does a nice job high-pointing it. Then he's got the convoy. Very lucky he got tackled, because this was very close to being a house call. Now Jeff Driscoll and company set up inside the Kentucky 40.
And Dupree back on the field for the defense here against this first down. Taylor is the running back. He battles his way to about the 38-yard line, where we'll bring up 2nd down for the Gators.
I think Kurt Roper, as a play caller, will want to continue to do this again. We talked about Kentucky having success throwing the ball deep in the first half. Florida had their success running the ball, being physical. And in this kind of game, with this humidity, if they can be the most physical team in the second half, really wear this defense down, it's going to pay dividends.
Dunbar and Pittman to the top. Robinson comes to the bottom, and the H-back motions through. Driscoll tosses in underneath that time, and A.J. Stamps was there defending Clay Burton, the tight end who came across in that formation after he'd motioned to the left.
Florida suffered a huge loss last week when Jake McGee, their starting tight end, went down with an ankle injury. He'll be missed for the season. The tight end is a big position in Kurt Roper's offenses. Here's Clay Burton, who came to Florida. He's the younger brother. People remember Trey, who played all over the field. Clay Burton was a defensive lineman that they converted and moved to tight end. He had 7 catches last week. He's another guy that's going to have to step up here and make some plays and be an outlet for Jeff Driscoll.
Taylor gets the first down. Behind the middle, Max Garcia. We haven't talked a lot about the Gator center, number 76. According to the coaches, Jesse, when we spoke with him, he's the most critical member of that offensive line. They said, we've got to wrap him in cellophane.
Yeah,
we need him out there. Norcross, Georgia, 294-pound senior. Moved him into that center spot this year, and he's critical to this attack. To the edge, and Robinson run out of bounds at the 25.
Brent, to your point, this entire offensive line for Florida is the biggest key to their success on offense all year long. Last year, they weren't physical enough in the run game. They weren't good enough in pass protection. This offseason changed positions. You mentioned Max Garcia. He was a left guard, left tackle last year. Their right guard, Trenton Brown, played right tackle last year. Chaz Green was playing left tackle tonight. He was playing right tackle last week. They brought in a brand new offensive line coach, Mike Summers, with 34 years experience. They're going to have to be big all year long, and big in the second half.
2nd down and 7. Penalty flag on this play as the guard pulled out. Let's see what the call is.
Before the snap, false start. Everyone but the center. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Wouldn't you know it? On cue.
Hey,
we talk about
jinxed them.
I mean, we did. We apologize for that, Max.
But you know, you think how difficult it is for a unit to gel when a lot of different pieces are playing brand new positions. They're getting in different 3-point stances. They're seeing defensive tackles and defensive ends in different spots. It's not easy to do. And remember, this is only the 2nd game of the season for Florida. Their first game against Idaho 2 weeks ago was canceled.
Driscoll, 9 of 22. Short of the first down, and he puts it in DeMarcus Robinson's hands.
I really like the rhythm Jeff Driscoll's in right now. And again, another good example of having a plan before the snap. Taking a look at the defense, watching the safeties. You see he starts to the left side of the field, comes back really quickly and fits a bullet right into Demarcus Robinson. And this number 11, Demarcus Robinson, this true sophomore, he's been making a lot of plays these first 2 games for the Florida Gators. He's making, I think, his claim to being their go-to guy all season long.
Facing a 3rd and 4. Jones picks up the defender, fires for a first down to the 13-yard line, and there on cue is who Jesse was talking about. Robinson with Tiller making the stop.
And I don't know if Florida's had a go-to guy at wide receiver since Tim Tebow played here. You take a look, 9 catches already for $127. You got to go back to my teammate Jabbar Gaffney back in 2001. I didn't play with him then. I'm not that old, guys, but I mean, since a guy had back-to-back 100-yard games, it's been a long time around here. They've been waiting for a breakout player at this position.
1st and 10 in the red zone for the Gators, looking for our first touchdown. Here comes Jones trying to find daylight, and he's down around the 9-yard line. 2nd down.
Attitude runs, and under Will Muschamp as a head coach at Florida, this offense has always started with the run game. For the last 3 years, it was more of a pro-style attack. They wanted to ground and pound, but even though Kurt Roper's here calling plays, and they're spreading the field more often, everything will start and end with their ability to run the football, and it's down in this type of position, in the red zone. You don't have as much space. The defense knows you're going to run it. This is where it needs to show up. That attitude, that physicality has to demonstrate itself.
Westbrook and Burton both on the field. Driscoll gives back to Jones. Jones trying to get the edge. Goes for the end zone. I believe he's short.
Another one of these power plays, pulling the backside guard. Looks like Trip Thurman, number 63, coming around the outside, getting into the 2nd level, getting a shoulder into linebacker Khalid Henderson. And then again, you got the big boy running back outside one-on-one with the JUCO transfer, A.J. Stamps. He's a very good tackler. Not able to bring him down. Now the Gators knocking on the door.
Jones stays in the game. He's coming and stuffed. It was read perfectly that time by Melvin Lewis. And he is one of those youngsters who couldn't play last year. They redshirted him, came from Fullerton College out west.
And he's 320 pounds. He's very hard to move. You see number 76, Max Garcia, just trying to give him a shoulder. You're going to need a lot more than that to move this big fella. He's a big reason why Kentucky expects to be a better run defense this year, because he holds the point of attack right over the center.
Let's see if Roper elects to throw it on 2nd and goal. Does he have confidence in Driscoll right here? Play action. Yes, he does. In trouble. Hit incomplete. And that leaves him with a 3rd down because of a great play by Blake McLean out of Winter Park, Florida for Kentucky.
So big 3rd down here. And the guy they've been going to for big plays these first 2 games is wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, number 11. He's got good size. He's physical.
They send in 2 more wide receivers. Dunbar and Pittman will come into this formation.
It looks like they're going to line up Demarcus Robinson in the slot. Here at the bottom of the screen, he's right here. Potential outbreaking route, maybe. Condensed formation. Heads up.
Jones releases, and the pass was deflected, and that was Zadarius Smith who got to it. Matt Jones was all alone as he released from the backfield.
He was wide open, and they got a pick from LaTroy Pittman running up the field that sprung Jones free. Take a look up top. 24 is going to be wide open in the flat, but there's Zadarius Smith, the JUCO transfer, coming in untouched. We talk a lot about Bud Dupree. We just pointed out Melvin Lewis. What about this Zadarius Smith? They got some athletes up front too, don't they?
Kyle Crowfoot. 4 brothers played the SEC. They were all holders or long snappers. Number 43, we got a stoppage down here. He's a young man out of Windermere, Florida. It's the family story is just unbelievable. I mean, here is number 43. Well, we got a moment. Let me run through the brothers, okay? John preceded Kyle as a holder for the Gators. Brother Ike was a long snapper and later a holder at South Carolina from 2003 to 6. Chaz was the snapper at Auburn 2004 to 5. Clayton was the holder at Auburn, 2008 and 9. Now Kyle snapped for John and then became the holder. You realize how much money this family has saved getting these scholarships for these youngsters?
It pays to be a holder, doesn't it?
Or a long snapper.
snapper.
I'm telling you, it's an unbelievable story. And here is number 43. So you will see him here now.
So keep in mind here on this last drive, Brent, Florida had 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. They ran 3 plays and actually moved back 2 yards. So you've got to give Kentucky's defense, once again, a lot of credit, stepping up with their backs against the wall. They're keeping this football team in this game.
So Francisco Velez out of Ocala represents the only score here tonight. This would put the Gators up by a field goal. It's a 22-yarder. He hit a 35-yarder in the first half. Bang. Gators regain the lead. The kickers are dominating. And the one play you Wildcat fans have got to remember is this one right here by Smith. He deflected that pass. Jones would have walked in for a touchdown, except for that young to that classic SEC game, LSU Kentucky. The Bluegrass Miracle, LSU completes that 74-yard touchdown pass as time runs out to beat the Wildcats. That's Sunday on the SEC Network. Jesse, are we having fun now, Frank?
Kidding me? A little barn burner right here, don't we? I gotta be honest though. I know I'm a former quarterback and I'm all about, you know, fun and gun, throwing it around. I like these defensive boards too, though.
And this is that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And if anybody out there, again, around the SEC watching this game, around the country, understand Kentucky's a much better team and their defense is SEC caliber.
South Carolina winner over Georgia, 38-35. And here the Gators with a field goal advantage over Kentucky. Haven't had a touchdown here tonight. J.D. Harmon and Boom Williams are back deep. And this time Harmon feels it, and he's told to take a knee. Let's check in down below with Maria.
You know, Brent, the one thing that Patrick Towles told me coming into this game is that if he let the moment get bigger than himself, that he would not perform well. And I got to tell you, on the sidelines, he's shown a lot of poise. After that interception, he walked over to his offense, said, "That's my bad. We're going to get it right back and drive it down the field." Showing a lot of confidence, and he's been stone-faced whether or not the game's been going Kentucky's way.
And Maria, we're going to learn a lot about him right now on this drive. This Florida defense has had a lot of success. They've been getting to him. They've been hitting him. Obviously, having just forced that turnover, how does the young quarterback respond right here in the face of adversity against a very, very good defensive unit?
Offensive coordinator Neil Brown sends out 4 wide receivers and Hurd. And Towles keeps it on first down, short of the 30-yard line.
And that's the element to his game that makes this offense unique. Whenever you see air raid offenses around the country, you're normally just looking at pass-only quarterbacks. It was Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M that really became the first dual-threat quarterback in this type of system. Now, certainly Patrick Towles, he's not Johnny Manziel, doesn't run like him, but he does have the ability, and because of that, it makes this air raid offense that much more dangerous and difficult to defend.
Darian Miller back at left tackle. Remember, he was shaken up, and Haynes took a series, and now the big fellow's back at left tackle, and Hurd slashes off the right side, short of the first down, and Ball makes the stop for the Gators.
He's just inches away, isn't he? I mean, so close these last couple of runs from breaking into the second level, potentially taking it to the distance. I can't stress it enough. Different Kentucky offense. More playmakers, more speed, more skill. Mark Stoops has recruited that area extremely well. Florida's got to be careful.
Brian Cox, one of the defensive ends for the Gators, down on the right side. They put 4 down, 2 rushers on the edge. And they went to Wildcat to Kemp that time. And Kemp barges for a first down. So that's the first time that we have seen the Wildcat. And oh, by the way, JoJo, who, in case you did not hear or you weren't with us in the first half, he's the one who said he wanted to have the victory, walk out of here over some of his former buddies and rub their face in it.
And look who made the play. Number 6, Dante Fowler Jr. right there. We talk about how fast he is and all the skill he has. You see him jarring with JoJo Kemp right there, but he also plays with unbelievable effort running to the football. You saw a good example of that right there.
Braylon Hurd is behind Tolles. Play action to him. Up and firing. Had his man open. Hargraves was all over the wide receiver Bone that time. And had Hargraves had a little more eye contact with the ball, might pick this off, folks.
He's been more often right than wrong when picking his matchups, but you've got a true freshman receiver facing off against arguably the best cornerback in the country. And again, very lucky on that one. That wasn't picked and taken to the house. You got to be careful. Pick your battles if you're Patrick Tolles. I don't know if that's your best matchup necessarily.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Fowler picked up. Deep right sideline. Got a man. 25, 20. We got a touchdown, Kentucky. Garrett Johnson, Winter Garden, Florida, 60 yards, and there is a penalty flag downfield, however. In fact, there are a pair of them. One around the 25 and one around the 27. How about this, ladies and gentlemen, if it holds? Looks like they're coming back. The players have moved back to about the 33-yard line here.
After the score, personal foul, number 6 offense, hitting a defensive player away from the play. That's a 15-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Blake Bone makes a mistake after the touchdown. Garrett Johnson.
Now, how about Patrick Tolles, Brent? You want to talk about how he would respond to that interception on the last drive? Okay, come right back, calm, cools the other side of the pillow. He's going to march back out there, not phased, playing at the Swamp. Going to find my best matchup. He's been throwing the football downfield beautifully. And Kentucky with the lead now. Up 4.
McGinnis tacking on that extra point. Mark Stoops in Kentucky giving themselves a chance. Gorman lose contact with the wide receiver. And the youngster, Johnson, takes it to the end zone.
Drive, because no text is worth a life.
The Wildcats have struck gold here in the third quarter, Jesse.
Patrick Tolles did a great job pre-snap, again, finding his best matchup. Look right here. That's the true freshman Garrett Johnson lined up with a safety, Jabari Gorman, who's not very good in man-to-man coverage. They run the go route right by him, and it's another beautiful throw by Patrick Tolles deep down the field, getting air under the ball, giving his guy a chance to make it. What did I say? These Kentucky playmakers, these true freshmen and young guys that Mark Stoops has recruited, if you give them the football in space, they can make you miss and they can take it to the house. This is a much more explosive offense than we've seen in recent years at Kentucky, and Mark Stoops and his recruiting efforts are a big reason for that.
This is an interesting situation because of that penalty by Bone. Austin McGinnis will kick off from the Wildcats 20-yard line, and DuBose has tightened up to about the 15. So there's a chance that we're going to see number 4, and the Wildcats better be ready. Here he comes. 15, 20, 30, 45, 50, out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and that penalty was a killer.
You just can't give Andre DuBose a crease. I mean, you're talking almost world-class speed. Kick it left. You see the coverage unit working that way. Florida sets up the return, and there's just nobody on the left side near the sideline. That's just too much room for one of the fastest players in college football.
Jesse, that's not almost world-class speed.
that's legitimate?
That's the legitimate thing.
All right.
44 and shaken up on the play. Matt Jones will be the running back. Gators with excellent field position, trailing for the first time tonight. Here's Matt Jones behind the right side. And he's stopped by Forrest. That linebacker has been active for Kentucky tonight.
Another one of those guys with tremendous speed. You talk about Josh Forrest, number 45, was a wide receiver 2 years ago. They move him over to linebacker last year in Mark Stoops' first year. He's backing up Avery Williamson, who's going to go on to the NFL. He's got tremendous sideline-to-sideline speed. He was trying to figure out the position last year. Well, he's figured it out now. He's another one of the reasons this defense can fly.
2nd down and 9. Driscoll. And the receiver fell, deflected. Gators got a break, and Robinson has it. How about that? First, Robinson slips. Then the defensive back, Tiller, can't hang on. Robinson back up, and he's given the Gators a great scoring chance.
This is one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen here. You're going to see Jeff Driscoll try to throw the out route to DeMarcus Robinson on the left side of your screen. He's going to slip out of his break, and this hits Tiller right in the numbers, ricochets right into the hands of Robinson. Concentration catch drill.
1st down and goal at the 10-yard line. Driscoll throws, touchdown, Westbrook. And circle that 15-yard penalty, first of all. That gave the Gators field position. And then circle the inability of the defensive back to hang on. That was Tiller, who had a clear shot at an interception. And instead, the Gators with their first touchdown of the night. Velez for the extra point. Crowfoot is the holder. Drew Ferris, the snapper. Gators up 3. Watch the quarterback react.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Monday night, you're going to see this play a lot on SEC now. One of the more remarkable plays of the night. Receiver slips. Tiller with a clear shot. Couldn't hang on. Robinson stays right with it.
And then, Brent, we talked about how the running game would help set up some successful plays in the play action game. Some touchdown passes like we saw in that last touchdown by the Florida Gators. We'll get a chance to go back, take a look at that play, and see how their ability running the football is starting to help out Jeff Driscoll.
Austin Harden will take it away for the Gators. Harmon and Williams back deep. Fielded at the 1 by Williams. Good return to the 26.
Go back and look at that touchdown again. Florida doing a better job firing off the ball and running the football, but it's able to sneak out their tight end, Tevin Westbrook, underneath on the drag route for a wide open throw. Jeff Driscoll does a nice job getting outside, negotiating the throw around number 6, Jason Hatcher. That's just a walk-in score for the Florida Gators and a nice answer to the Kentucky Wildcats touchdown on the previous possession. So much for that defensive struggle, huh, Brad? A little shootout action here in the Swamp.
1st down and 10. Boom Williams stays in as a running back. Now he flares, want him on the edge, got him. 30. And I believe he's got the 1st down.
Boom Williams, another one of these talented true freshmen that Mark Stoops brought in. They call him Boom for a reason. You see right there, he gets north-south quick. And he brings a physicality to this offense in this backfield that they lacked last year. We talked about them being more skilled on offense. They're way more physical, bigger on the offensive line. They got bigger wide receivers, bigger running backs. They're going to need that physicality to now show up here in the 2nd half.
For the moment, I can't find Fowler out there defensively, but we will keep checking because he moves all over the field. 1st down and 10. Play action, Tolles has time. Incomplete. Timmons, the intended receiver, and May with the coverage.
He's not out there, Brent. You just mentioned Dante Fowler Jr. And again, you wonder in this heat, in this humidity, just how many snaps can these players go necessarily. So they've got backups in. That's Brian Cox Jr. They've got to spell Dante Fowler Jr., understanding they're going to need him here in the second half. I said it before and I'll say it again, depth on both sides is going to be tested here in the second half of this game.
Second down and 10. 3 rushing. Incomplete in tight traffic to Dorian Baker that time. And that was swatted away by Cummings.
Now setting up a 3rd and long. Do you bring Dante Fowler back on the field? They're going to do that, yep. Critical passing situation. Dante Fowler Jr., number 6, and number 11.
Ball.
They're on Ball, yeah, who plays defensive end in these pass rushing situations. This is massive speed on the field, the best pass rushers for the Florida Gators.
They need 10. Hurd is the running back. Floats one, grabbed again by Johnson. Garrett Johnson, who scored the touchdown, just made the catch of the night for the Wildcats on 3rd and 10.
Once again, Tolles finds the receiver matchup with the safety, that time working against Duke Dawson, a true freshman. And the young true freshman receiver, Garrett Johnson, takes a big hit.
Tolles going to keep it up, got a man wide open for a touchdown. Johnson again. A coverage breakdown.
It looked like the Florida Gators secondary was late getting lined up. That was the exact same play they just ran previously with Garrett Johnson in the slot. It was a late shift over getting to him.
Stunned in Gainesville. 30 yards and 33 yards. The first 2 touchdown catches for a freshman, Garrett Johnson from Winter Garden, Florida. Neil Brown, the offensive coordinator, telling us, Jesse, that the one thing he lacked with his air raid offense, wide receivers. Well, he's got some tonight who have jumped up, and it's now 17-13 after the McGinnis extra point. Remember, the Gators have beaten Kentucky 27 straight times.
So there's just a coverage bust on this. You're going to go back and take a look at this. A big mistake by the Florida defense. You see Will Muschamp talking to his safety, Ken O'Neill. That's him right there. He's got the wide receiver, Garrett Johnson, one-on-one. But watch the play. Garrett Johnson's just going to run right by him. And at this point, Neal stops and bites on the underneath route from number 2, Dorian Baker. And that frees up Garrett Johnson all by himself in the back end of the defense. It's a coverage bust. It's the first one we've seen on defense from the Florida Gators, but it was costly.
You know what the best news is for Kentucky?
What's that?
There wasn't a 15-yard penalty afterwards.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
So you can kick off to DuBose now, normally from the 35.
Now you can. And remember, DuBose was shaken up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I see him now trotting back down. So DuBose is on the field. He'll go back down the bottom of your screen as the return man.
How about this? Second half adjustments by the Kentucky Wildcats. It's been an explosion here in the second half, and they've done it throwing the football, finding explosive plays. Again, getting these talented true freshmen involved.
They don't want to celebrate too early.
Recruiting pays, though, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Wow. I mean, you talk about winning and losing games, and people wonder sometimes why we make such a big deal about recruiting in the offseason and why everyone talks about it. Well, this is why. Because it shows up early in the season. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be Kentucky, having not won a game in the conference in 2 years. It can make you much more competitive. It can make you a contender in the matter of games.
McGinnis going to pooch this. They're going to kick it away from DuBose. Fielded on the 19-yard line, and they got pretty good field position out of that. Tried to be a little more conservative, but they're out to the 37 and hang on here. There's some jawing. There's a penalty flag, I see. Coach is not happy.
Yeah, I think Marcus McWilson, that's who Mark Stoops is talking to. He threw down Florida linebacker Jared Davis after the play was over. Both guys got tangled up. It'll be interesting to see which way they call this. Oftentimes it's the guy that kind of does the last action that gets caught, and that in this case was McWilson, number 15 for Kentucky.
Mark Curls is your SEC referee.
How about that, Brent? You just talked about them not having a 15-yard penalty. Well, that might not be the case. They might be giving the Florida Gators the ball back. They're in very good position.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. The penalty is offset. First down.
Good chance to go back and look at this again. Look at number 15, McWilson. So there's Jared Davis. You kind of get some late action and a late hit. And he's pushing McWilson after the play's over. I think if McWilson would have just let him go, that penalty would have been only on Florida, but he kind of gave him that judo toss.
I thought that was a good call.
Yeah, me too.
Kelvin Taylor now checks in as the Gator running back. Sideline pass is over to Dunbar on that far side.
So both of these offenses had a hard time finding yards in the first half. Now we're in a situation in the second half here, trading blows. Which of these defenses can make a stop?
Now you see Kentucky has gone past Florida. They were being outgained by a big margin early in the second quarter of this game. Play action. Driscoll's going to take it, try to get the first down. Did not, unless they give him the mark, and they're over there to protect the Florida quarterback as he went into the Kentucky bench. But the Kentucky players stayed away from it. Looks like they gave him the spot. Looks like he stepped out right there.
Yeah.
The headlinesman had a great view of it.
And Brent, I think one of the advantages of this Kurt Roper offense for Jeff Driscoll, playing almost solely out of the shotgun, it allows him to use his legs more. Running is always something we knew he could do for a guy that's 6'4", 230 pounds. But that zone read play becomes a factor in this offense, and it's one that defenses have to honor and defend.
Driscoll completes it on first down, and Robinson out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and just like that, the Gators are storming back offensively.
This is one of those multiple formations that Kurt Roper likes to use. We've seen it a couple times tonight. Condensed formation, outbreaking routes, football coming out of Jeff Driscoll's hands quickly. And I think we're seeing a young star emerge in Demarcus Robinson here before our eyes.
Four wide receivers. Westbrook got the touchdown pass. Now with the H-back look. They snap it off underneath to Robinson, and Robinson is out of bounds in the red zone with a first down.
It's a good matchup for Jeff Driscoll to take advantage of. Fred Tiller is the boundary corner, number 3 for Kentucky, and he's very small. He's only 170 pounds. He doesn't want to get up in the face of Demarcus Robinson at 6'2", 200 and press him with the fear that he'll be overpowered. So he's giving him a lot of cushion, and right now Jeff Driscoll taking advantage of that.
Norwood comes on, and it looked like Robinson was limping just a touch when he went off the sideline. First down and 10 here. Taylor cut off, cuts back. Makes his way to the 12-yard line, and that stop was made by Huguenin.
Tough running by Kelvin Taylor, showing tremendous vision. There's that power play again, pulling the backside guard, and Taylor seeing the cutback, change of direction, and explosiveness, able to get north again. It's Florida Gators. They've got their first 2 running backs with Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones. That's a good 1A, 1B option.
They bunch with Valdez Showers up there. Robinson has returned. Taylor's got the first down, I believe. And this would be a first and goal. Lewis, the stop for the Wildcats.
I think if you're having success running the football, I think if you're Florida, you continue to do that here. Whether it's third down or whether they get the first down, you got to start relying on the guys up front and rely on 2 running backs in Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones, 2 physical runners to get it done. Even if Jeff Driscoll needs to carry the football in his zone read type action or option, you have that in your back pocket as well. There's a lot of different things they can do. They can be creative running the ball in this area of the field.
First and goal. Fullwood comes back in as one of the wideouts. Robinson will be toward the bottom of your screen. Kelvin Taylor's the running back for the Gators. They're going to throw on first down. In a foot race, has to throw it away. The pressure was coming from J.D. Harmon.
You know, again, they're trying to sneak a player out in the flat like they did on their last touchdown pass. I just think if you're Florida right now, the way your guys are playing up front, the physicality you've demonstrated, you don't need to waste downs. In this part of the field, go ahead, run the football, take advantage of what you're really doing well right now. And all of a sudden you set up second and goal from far out. You're making yourselves a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more predictable.
Valdez back on the field. Straight back, fires, end zone, wide open, touchdown Robinson. Robinson breaks free in the right corner, and the Gators will regain the lead.
Seeing them move DeMarcus Robinson around, this time putting him on the slot. I think there was a coverage bust on this as well. Looked like A.J. Stamps, the safety, was lined up right over top of him, and then he kind of snuck back inside. There was nobody there, and Jeff Driscoll went to make the throw. So both of these teams are almost mirror images of each other right now. It was the Gators, the last drive with a coverage bust. The Kentucky Wildcats with one here on this last drive.
The extra point is good, and Robinson for the night now, folks. 202 yards on the night. 13 catches, 202 yards, and that one touchdown as the Gators go up by 3. The most by a Florida receiver since 2002, which backs up my partner's point that the Gators have not had that outstanding receiver that they used to during the era of the fun and gun under Coach Spurrier. But they've got a young'un in the making here in DeMarcus Robinson. Robinson is out of Georgia, Fort Valley, went to Peach County High School.
We got another coverage bust on this last play, Brent. When you go back and take a look at it, you've got man-to-man all across the board, except right here. Watch this matchup. Robinson against the defender. You got defenders looking into the backfield. No idea where his wide receiver is. And I'm really impressed with how Kurt Roper's using this young true sophomore wide receiver and moving him around the field, giving him different spots and different people to attack. He's one outside tonight. He's one inside as well. It's a big-time answer by the Florida Gators. And again, offensive shootout all of a sudden. This thing has changed.
Harmon and Williams. Again, we'll be back deep. Final seconds of the third quarter about to tick away. Williams, and he'll take a knee and a touchback, and it'll come out. Celebrating its 9th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating university general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. Since 2005, Allstate has contributed more than $3.4 million in scholarship funds. Patrick Towles on the night, 15 of 28, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Hurd has carried 8 for 29 yards. Kemp 5 for 15.
Brent, we heard Maria say earlier in her conversation with Towles, if the moment got too big, he wouldn't perform well, or tonight's moment has never gotten too big for this young sophomore quarterback.
And they try to get Timmons. They bring him, and they cannot get that edge. Hargrave shuts it down right now.
You just get the feeling, all of a sudden, this offensive slugfest, just who can get a stop, who can get off the field and give the ball back to their offense, gains a massive advantage. There's an example of Dante Fowler Jr., again, showing that effort. It's not just freakish ability, but the want to get to the ball, I think, separates him and makes him unique. He's an every down player, and he gives it 100%.
Oklahoma beating Tennessee 27-7. Hurd shut down completely by the middle of the Gator D. Cummings in on that stop as we come to the end of the third quarter. Gators lead it, but it's an uneasy edge right now. Turn home for my partner Jesse Palmer. First time back to the Swamp since he played for Steve Spurrier, and I know it brought back many great memories.
It sure did, partner. So many great memories here. I was so lucky to get a chance to call this place home, play my games in front of this home crowd, these great fans, and a chance to play in the SEC. Memories that will last a lifetime.
Now Patrick Towles with a great opportunity here on 3rd and 10. He had the first down. Marcus May with the coverage, but I believe they're going to spot them. Robinson for the first down. Yes, they are.
This is a big league throw by quarterback Patrick Towles. Big 3rd down. You got Robinson up working in the slot, running the out route. This has to be placed perfectly into his body. Can't lead him too far outside or inside for the catch and a huge conversion.
Hurd is alongside. Still trying to get that crease, and that Gator front just will not give it to him. Jonathan Bullard makes the stop.
And you got to feel, if you're Kentucky, like you found your quarterback in Patrick Towles. Not just for tonight and moving forward this season, but potentially for the next 3 years. You're talking about relaunching your program after what you've just been through. This guy with his physical ability, with the poise he showed tonight, this performance in this atmosphere, this is the type of guy you build a program around. He's been very impressive tonight.
Gators try an extra defensive back. Towles going deep down that sideline, and this time well covered, deflected, intercepted. Picked off around the 19 by Neal. Remember, Neal had a coverage mistake earlier in this game, and he more than makes up for it here.
Get a chance to go back and see this. The Florida defense, they've been torched a little bit here this game in explosive plays, but they come back. The big turnover on there. That's a great job by cornerback Brian Poole going up and fighting for that football, popping it up. And there's Neal able to make the catch. He gets a lot of feet down in bounds. That's a big-time turnover for this Gator defense. We talked about these offenses counter-punching. Who could make a stop? That's a huge turnover gain by the Florida D.
Jones will be the running back for the Gators. Early in the fourth, Florida 20, Kentucky 17. Jones with the first carry, breaks a tackle, comes free. Strong 14-yard run to the 29-yard line before Flanagan can bring him down for the Wildcats. And on a day and a night like this, you can understand if some of these fellas are getting just a little bit tired. We had some cramping in the first half. And now some of these offenses, if they start to run the ball right at you, it's going to be tricky. And Florida will do just that. A heavy dose of Jones behind Johnson, Brown, Garcia, Thurman, and Chaz Green.
These types of runs can be demoralizing for a defense. Changes the momentum of the game. It gets Florida's bench excited. It gets these fans at home here at the Swamp excited. And if Kentucky can't stop them, they're going to have to sacrifice more and more white jerseys close to the line of scrimmage and risk one-on-one opportunities outside for guys like Quinton Dunbar and Demarcus Robinson.
Complete. Fullwood. Pittman re-enters as one of the wide receivers, one of the targets for Coach Muschamp. Time can't move fast enough for him. Coming. And Jones from across the 40 to the 43. Douglas making the stop.
You know, Brent, we talked a lot about Jeff Driscoll tonight. It's his 4th year here at Florida, and you really get the feeling that the time is now for this guy to really step up and make plays this season. So heralded coming in out of high school. He's the #1 recruit out of high school, and he's had injuries throughout his career. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators, but the fans here, their expectations level, especially at this position, so high.
18 of 34 tonight for 236. Here's his 35th pass, complete to Westbrook. He hit him for a touchdown earlier and picked up his tight end for another first down. The young man from Coconut Creek went to North Broward Prep.
And Brent, we talk about the expectations at the quarterback position here. When you walk into this stadium, we mentioned this earlier and Maria mentioned it, there's 3 statues outside. Steve Spurrier, Danny Werfel, Tim Tebow, all Heisman Trophy winners. They've set the bar so high. Jeff Driscoll's 13-3 as a starter. But until he wins a championship, I don't know if he's ever going to be truly acknowledged and respected here.
Quick throw to the outside of Robinson, who's pushed out of bounds, and he adds to his gaudy total. Harmon, you got the young man out of bounds.
There's no denying Jeff Driscoll's talent. I mean, you can see with the arm strength, his pocket presence, his ability to run the football. He has all the tools you look for. And Gator fans really hope and believe, and I think this coaching staff hopes and believes, that Kurt Roper's the right fit for him. And that's been the missing link to the Gators getting back to Atlanta to compete for an SEC championship.
424 yards for the Gators, who will go to Tuscaloosa next week to play Alabama. Jones, good balance, crosses the 30. Smith.
There's been tremendous balance in this game so far for the Florida Gators. They've thrown it 36 times. They've run it 35 times. That's a staple of Kurt Roper and his offense, as we talked about. But right now, you've got to feel, with the way things are going, the push they're getting up front. Continue to run it and take advantage of these easy throws outside if they're presented.
Jones again to the 25-yard line, and that clock winding down toward 10 minutes here in the 4th quarter as the Gators go to work on it with this running game.
So who from Kentucky defensively can step up and make a play? We've talked about Bud Dupree, Zadarius Smith, the middle linebacker Josh Forbes, big-time safety and A.J. Stamps, JUCO transfer. Somebody now has got to answer the bell, get this football back for Patrick Towles and this Kentucky offense.
The freshman nose man is in. Elam. They're coming after him, too. Jones stayed on his feet, short of the 20-yard line, and Forrest, and it'll be 3rd down coming up here for Florida.
All right, so if I'm Kentucky's defense, I'm trying to find number 11 right now. I got to find out where he's going to line up. Is he inside? Is he outside? He's been the guy that's been killing my defense all game long. Over 200 yards receiving already. You're going to see him outside now. Right here at the top of the screen. You need a plan for him. One-on-one is not a good situation if you're Kentucky, and it looks like they have that situation right now.
Elam is out for this 3rd down. In trouble. Driscoll has to throw this away because of the heat from Blake McLean from Winter Park, Florida. We've mentioned him several times tonight, Jesse.
Blake, sometimes for the wrong reason, but a lot of times for the right reason. And on this one, Mark Stoops decided to sell out. Brought cover 0, no safety in the middle of the field, coming off the edge right here. It's a really nice job. Driscoll tried to buy time. He was trying to work to Robinson at the top of the screen. You see the disappointment on Robinson's body posture because he knew he had a chance. But the pressure got to Driscoll. That's the stand Kentucky needed right there.
Francisco Velez will attempt this field goal. It's a 39-yarder. Pulls it to the left. That's not going to be any good. They have a longer leg in Austin Hardin. I'm somewhat surprised after talking to Muschamp that he went with Velez. I thought he had told me 25 and in, but Velez was hot, and so he went. Well, next Saturday on SEC Nation, Joe Tessitore will take the gang down to Alabama, getting ready for Florida and Alabama. Joe will be there alongside Tim Tebow, Kaylee Hartung, Marcus Spears, and Paul Feinbaum. They do an outstanding job. Next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Check them out. They got excellent chemistry, that group. Really enjoyed them this morning.
Paul Feinbaum's home, huh? His people.
That's right.
Alabama, Auburn.
I listen to it every afternoon on his radio show.
It's must-listen radio. He's going to get a warmer reception than Tim Tebow and Marcus Spears, I promise you that.
JoJo Kemp will be the running back. Kentucky down 3. Tolles snaps it off on first down, and during that commercial break, folks, my partner said Patrick Tolles is going to have to make the play for Kentucky.
Yeah, Brent, you just get the feeling right now with their inability to run the football. This game is going to be won or lost based on that guy right there, Patrick Tolles. Can he keep up his level of performance? We've seen some good moments here in the second half. We've seen some interceptions as well, but this game is on his shoulders. As simple as that.
Second down and short. Play actions. He's a good runner, but he goes down, and you know who's over there, folks. Number 1, Hargraves, circling right now.
Yep.
All SEC, All American. And good news for fans here, he's only a sophomore.
True sophomore.
That's right.
He's
That
got to
means
come back.
the Rascals can't grab him.
You see how to be the complete corner, you've got to be able to support the run. It's not just about covering him man-to-man and getting interceptions and taking him to the house. You got to be physical. Here's Kentucky again in that power running formation. Going to a Wildcat.
And Wildcat. And this is JoJo. JoJo barges ahead for the first down. Now, he's been trash talking after those games. Let's see if he just goes quietly about his business, and that time he did.
You get the feeling Kentucky here is going to have to earn it. This Florida defense, it's a commodity under Will Muschamp. Has been for 3 years. They've been in the top 10 of total defense each of those 3 years. Only Bama and Florida State were the teams to do that. They got tremendous speed. It's a complex scheme. They got first-round picks in Dante Fowler Jr. and Vernon Hargraves. You wanted Patrick Tolles, you got to go get it.
Neil Brown, let's see if he sends out a pass on first down. He does. Quick throw to Dorian Baker, another one of the talented freshmen. He is out of Cleveland Heights, and Kentucky out-recruited Ohio State, among others. He's 6'3", 197 pounds, and he gives Tolles that big target. And, folks, can he ever block as a wide receiver?
It goes back to my point, Brent, about them being more physical. It's not just on the offensive line, but it's on the perimeter of the field, a place where they couldn't win matchups one-on-one a year ago. And I think if you look at this Kentucky offense as a whole, you say, okay, you've got more speed, you've got more skill. It looks like you found a quarterback. What about this offensive line? Really inconsistent a year ago. They had 3 different starting lineups. 4 starters came back. They're a little bit banged up tonight. But to win this game tonight, to make it to a bowl game potentially, to improve on last year, this offensive line has to stand up now. They've got their hands full. This number 6, Dante Fowler Jr.
It's been a long, long time since the Wildcats have tasted victory against the Gators. 27 games ago. The last time they triumphed here, 1979. First down and 10. Bird's the running back. Quick throw again, complete to Johnson. He scored 2 touchdowns tonight, and he takes him out to midfield on that pass.
There's an example of those improved mechanics by Patrick Tolles. How quickly was he able to catch that ball in the gun, get his shoulders squared, get it out quickly to an open receiver. Got to be able to do it in the air raid offense. No way around that. He had a long and deliberate delivery before. Worked extremely hard this offense on fixing that up. He's looked pretty good tonight. Those mechanics paying dividends.
Second and 5. Hurd battling for that first down. That's one of the few times when he's had even the semblance of a crease against the middle. That was Orr and Davis who finally wrestled him down. And as Jesse's pointed out several times, if 5 gets to the linebacker level,
watch out.
And daylight, beware.
Yeah, and give him credit because he's toughing it out, Brent. Again, he's not 100%. High ankle sprain week 1 forced them to miss their game against Ohio. JoJo Kemp now checks back in. Braylon Hurd, he's been impressive, running tough. Those are not easy yards.
Wildcat again. Jet action. Gators just stood their ground and basically stuffed it.
This is a game that we came into with both offenses going up tempo, and Kentucky right now really has slowed it down. They're bleeding that clock, milking that clock, trying for a field goal, no doubt about it, to get this thing into OT. If they could get a score and not leave very much time for Jeff Driscoll in this offense, then who knows what happens. Very slow and methodical right now, not what we're used to seeing from this Kentucky offense.
And that green line is where they have to get to give their field goal kicker a chance, and timeout is called by Tolles. One of the things about the Wildcat, you take the ball out of the hands of maybe your most valuable player. It can be a concern coming down the stretch in a game like this. LSU completes a 74-yard touchdown pass as time runs out. Sunday, 10 p.m. on the SEC Network. Defensive coordinator DJ Durkin. He and Will Muschamp huddled up. But here's something you might not know. He coached my partner's brother, Billy, at Notre Dame.
Hey, Urban Meyer.
You didn't think I knew that.
You go deep. You're impressive. You dig deep. Hey, unbelievable defensive coordinator, doing a great job with his calls last year, first year as a play caller. He's got his hands full right now trying to close this game out.
5:33, second down. Tolles gets time, goes far sideline, tough throw, battling is a flag. There's interference, no question about it. Marcus May, number 20, interfered. They pick up the first down on a 2nd and 10.
All of their success.
Pass interference, number 20 defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
All of Kentucky's success tonight throwing the football deep down the field is when they've gotten receivers isolated one-on-one with safeties. We've seen it all night long. Safeties are good in run support. They're good covering tight ends, slower players, but they play safety for a reason. They're not great one-on-one with shifty wide receivers, and that's where Kentucky's made their hay.
And that is Neil Brown's scheme. He knows exactly what you're talking about, and he's getting receivers that are in spots where the safeties have to cover them. And that's part of this offense that he fine-tuned when he was over with other teams. His Texas Tech offenses, the last stop, 5:26 to go now, first down on the 30-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. JoJo cuts back to the middle. Good run. Crosses the 25-yard line.
Well, Neil Brown, the offensive coordinator, as you just mentioned, JoJo Kemp is kind of limping off the field here. You wonder if that's a cramp maybe. But Neil Brown, oh, he goes down. Yeah, that looks like a cramp. The offensive coordinator at Kentucky, he's done a very nice job tonight. Remember, I played against him when he was at Kentucky catching balls from Tim Couch.
Right.
He came in here with that same air raid offense, remember, with Hal Mumme and Mike Leach. Threw it all over the yard. Done a good job coaching up these young players. They certainly hope JoJo Kemp's going to be okay. They need him.
Mumme and Leach. Two air raid guys, if there ever were.
The dictionary.
Oh, mercy. We'll take a break, and we'll check on Kemp when you come back.
Monday Night Football, Eagles, Colts, 8:15 on.
Well, on weekdays, Paul Feinbaum shares compelling opinions on SEC football through a deep knowledge of the conference and interaction with the most passionate callers in the sport. The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 p.m. on SEC Network. Also available live on Watch ESPN. You don't want to miss Paul. Second down. Coming up now, and Boom Williams is the running back. He, too, has top-end speed. Trying to get the edge in a foot race. Got the first down. Comes to the 15 when a penalty flag comes flying.
Holding, number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty for the foul. Replay second down.
Tight end Ronnie Shields.
Yeah, they had him lined up in the slot. And as you mentioned, Brent, trying to get Boom Williams outside with that great speed. Looked like they had kind of got the edge. But a holding penalty negates that. We talked about who makes the least amount of mistakes. There's number 80 right there in the slot. He's going to get matched up, kind of loses his position. on the safety Marcus May. That's an easy call to make. And all of a sudden, when they were in field goal range, it was a much more manageable field goal. Now, you're backing yourself up.
4 wide on this 2nd and 14. Tolles snaps it off to Baker. Across the 30-yard line, they're back to the original line of scrimmage, though, with Poole hammering him first.
All right, if you're Kentucky, critical 3rd down. We're going to be looking at about 3rd and 9. But if you're Patrick Tolles, you have to understand, you don't necessarily have to get all of it back. The most important thing here is you come away with points. You're trying to put this football in a position to make life easier on your kicker to, at minimum, make this a tie football game.
They stack 3 on the boundary side.
You cannot take a sack if you're Tolles.
Johnson, one of them. He has 2 touchdowns. Tolles looks away, gets one-on-one against Hargraves. Tough to make a living throwing one-on-one at number 1, folks.
The 2nd time tonight, Tolles had his true freshman 6'5" receiver Blake Bone working against Vernon Hargraves, and he's gone after this matchup, trying to give his big, tall receiver an opportunity. But again, you see the blanket coverage skills of Hargraves. You take a gamble, it doesn't work, and all of a sudden we're looking at a very long field goal.
46 yards for McGinnis. Leet, the holder. Kelly Mason, the snapper. This for the Tars. Looked to me like time ran out, but maybe that was not official. That clock on its way. Looks long. No, it was stopped.
Snap. Delay of game.
Wow.
Offense.
Stoops was calling time on that far side, and the head linesman said he didn't hear him in time. Take a look now at the coach. He sees the clock going down, but it was not in time to really get it called. That was not emphatic enough, nor did it come early enough. Officials with a good call on that play.
I got to be honest, McGinnis had a lot of leg on that last kick. We see right there his season long is 53 yards, so backing him up 5 yards, make him do it again. He's got a big leg.
51 is still different from 46. Here we go. Curves at the end. Good. That looked like a pinball wizard shot.
That looked like my 8-iron. He was swaying back right and left. I had no idea where that thing was going. Wow. That's a big conversion. 3 huge points for Kentucky. Getting themselves confidence. We've got a ball game, partner.
That was a good hold, too. Off to the right. Now watch the ball. Yes, sir. It glanced off the right upright. And because of it, it went between the posts. And Kentucky has given them a chance to end one of the longest losing streaks in college football history. Fourth quarter, the Swamp, 3:52 remaining. Kentucky 20, Florida 20. Andrew DuBose, one of the fastest men in college football, standing back in the Gator end zone. They kicked away from him last time. They went to Showers with a shorter kickoff, and even Showers was able to give him a decent return. So there's speed back there along with DuBose. Kicks it short again, keeping it out of DuBose's hands this time. Fielded and returned to the 30-yard line by Clay Burton. Jesse, take us through this.
Yeah, a lot of things going on here. Firstly, watch the hold by Jared Leet. Does a nice job scooping that off the ground, putting it in perfect position for McGinnis to make the kick. Now check out the crowd right here. They think this thing's wide right. They're celebrating. Pink off the bar, onto the green. It's like they were doing the wave.
Meanwhile, on the Stoops sideline, yes, sir. Jones is a running back. Driscoll keeps it, is cut off, and was able to get to the 37-yard line. Za'Darius Smith.
We talked about Jeff Driscoll's time being now. This is one of those moments, ball game on the line. Under 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, all 3 timeouts. 4th year in the program, this is the time to step up.
In trouble. And he is sacked. Hatcher, Jason Hatcher out of Louisville, got him.
And it was tremendous coverage down the field by Kentucky. Good coverage helps out a pass rush. Nowhere to go for Jeff Driscoll. That allows Jason Hatcher to make the play. And now Kentucky with a mass substitution, getting fresh bodies on the field on this critical 3rd down.
3rd and 5.
Showing pressure.
They're coming. They got it off, and that's short of the 1st down. This is a dangerous time to be going on 4th down.
You got to punt this, I think, if you're Florida. Wow.
Does he want to give the ball back to Kentucky here at the 2:28?
And they're almost in field goal range where they are. If you don't get this.
Talking about Kentucky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if Kentucky gets this back, and they're bringing the punting unit out now, that's the right call for Will Muschamp, I think.
The crowd doesn't agree with Coach Muschamp, but then again, now the one thing that Kentucky has to be mindful of, I don't think they would pull a fake here, but you never know, because Matt Jones is back there. He is one of the members of the Shield. If they want to put it directly in Jones' hands, they do have the play, the Gators, because the coaches told us about it. And if they get the right opportunity, here you see number 24.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, they're going to go ahead and punt this now. This is 4th and about a 6, and they've got a great leg.
And you're holding your breath right now, too. The way Patrick Tolles has played and some of the drives this Kentucky offense has had to get the football back here.
They're really holding their breath because of McGinnis's leg.
Yeah.
51-yard field goal just a short time ago, and Christie bails him out with a beauty. Fielded at the 5-yard line, down at the 8-yard line, and now a penalty flag. I think you know who it's against.
There is no foul for an illegal block in the back. 1st down, Kentucky.
The crowd breathes a sigh of relief. And there is a point that we have to make. Mark Stoops, no matter what happens here, has improved the franchise.
No doubt about it.
But Will Muschamp, should they lose this game now, unfortunately for our buddy, the seat grows hotter and hotter.
It's a hot seat, no doubt about it, because at Florida you're expected to win. This is a place where they played in 4 national championship games since 1995, and even though they went 4-8 last year, and he had 15 different guys lost to season-ending injuries, the environment here now in Gainesville and really around the country for coaches is to win now. This is a game Will Muschamp certainly needs for his long-term security here as head coach of the Florida Gators.
Christie's punt was 61 yards. Dangerous field position. Tolles on a quarterback keeper all the way with a little breathing room out to the 12 of the 13-yard line. It's been a while. 27 games. Last one in Gainesville, 1979.
And Kentucky not playing for the win, it seems, letting the clock bleed. Almost seems they're playing for overtime.
In trouble, got to throw it away. Was he in the end zone?
That's intentional grounding. Yep.
And if it's intentional grounding, you got to make sure you're not in the end zone.
Wow.
Hang on with this play now.
He was in the pocket, threw that away.
Intentional grounding. Number 14 offense. Penalties, loss of down at the spot of the foul.
Okay.
3rd down.
They say it was not in the end zone. You intentionally ground a ball in that end zone. That's a safety.
So they get away with one here. But now this is a situation you see right there. Darius Cummings does a nice job on the swim move. Patrick Tolles just tries to throw this thing away, but it's a young mistake. Taking intentional grounding like that was very close to being a safety, but now if you're Florida, understanding you've got all your timeouts left, 1:13 seconds left on the clock, it's 3rd down. If you're Will Muschamp, you're going to have an opportunity here to get the ball back to Jeff Driscoll and company.
The Gators want to talk about it. They want to stop it. They want a chance to win this with a field goal after them. Gators stop them. They're going to get that ball back with time to maneuver off the punt, you would think. Tolles, middle, complete. What a clutch throw to Garrett Johnson, his go-to guy for 2 touchdowns earlier. That is a big-time Kentucky completion.
And that answers all your questions about poise for Patrick Tolles.
Now they've got 59 seconds and a big leg. They hit Baker at about the 30-yard line. They want to hurry down and get some kind of a shot at a field goal.
But still, Brent, that they're not really hurrying. I mean, they're not being efficient at the line of scrimmage. You're letting this play clock bleed. I don't really understand. If they want to score, why aren't you using your timeouts?
Tolles, deep middle, deflected and picked off. Neal with his 2nd interception of the game. The most dangerous spot in the world for a quarterback, the middle of the field. And Tolles has chucked his 3rd pick.
And how ironic that it's Garrett Johnson, the guy that's been making a lot of the plays here in the 2nd half, that lets this ball go right through his hands. There's number 19 in the slot again, running the post. Sorry, it's number 1, it's Timmons. Ball goes right through his hands, into the hands of Keanu Neal. He's come up with 2 big picks here in recent drives off of deflections. Now you're Jeff Driscoll, you're the Gators. You get the ball back on your own 40-yard line, 28 seconds to play, a couple timeouts in your back pocket.
Jones is the running back, and now it's Driscoll's turn to see if he can get down into field goal range. Snaps it off underneath to a tight end, and that's Clay Burton.
Second charge timeout, Florida.
Now Florida will use its timeout. It's trying to win it right here. 22 seconds to go. Let's get inside the headset, brought to you by AT&T and Jesse DeMarcus Robinson Hughes.
He's been making plays, and I think Kurt Roper and this coaching staff have put him in position to do that. They've lined him up inside, they've lined him up outside, moved him around, gotten him different matchups, and the 6'2", 200-pound wide receivers made plays. Great catches, yards after the catch. He's been a threat deep down the field. He's been a threat out in the field in the red zone. 14 catches, 207 yards, and a touchdown. Jeff Driscoll should be looking for him right here, needing critical yardage. I think if you're this offense, you need to get into and around the 35-yard line here to give your kicker, Frankie Velez, an opportunity.
Remember, there's Austin Harden. If we have a long one, they could go to him for sure. 2nd down and 2. Robinson's to the top of your screen. Outside wide receiver, he's number 11. Driscoll's looking in that direction, comes back down the other way, throws it underneath to Jones for the 1st down, and there's a penalty flag.
Offside, number 94 defense. Penalties decline. The result of the play is a 1st down.
They need to get up to the line of scrimmage and snap this quick. The 1st down freezes the game clock momentarily until the referee will blow the whistle, so they got to be ready to go.
The umpire's got it stopped right now until the referee signals him. Now he backs out. Now they wind the clock, and here we go. Driscoll kills it with 13 seconds to go.
So you've got a timeout in your back pocket. If you're Florida, you can still work the middle of the field and try to set up a more makeable field goal and a better angle for your kicker.
He's telling him right there, Will Muschamp, what you want to do, and then quickly call the timeout. We've got 13 seconds left. Try to get him a little bit closer to They're going to use Austin Hardin or Francisco Velez. One of those two. Middle, and they got to the green line, and there's the timeout. That was Dunbar who got him right to that edge.
A little confusion there. They'd called the timeout earlier. Now just 3 seconds left.
Here comes Hardin. He has the longer leg. Remember, he's the kickoff man. He's the redshirt sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. He's out of Marist High School. Kyle Crowfoot. Number 43, the holder, Drew Ferris. He's your long snapper.
What a game, huh? Unbelievable.
And they were able to get this centered up with that pass play.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was very successful on the play call by Kurt Roper. This breathing room for Will Muschamp. He can take a breath. Not for long, because it certainly was not an overly impressive win by the Gators if they make this. And for Kentucky, no matter what happens here, no matter what happens, they can hold their helmets high.
Make no mistake about it. They want the win. They're going to send the house right here. You got Bud Dupree, number 2, one of their best athletes, right over the middle of the field. He's got a 41-inch vertical, remember, number 2.
Second charge timeout, Kentucky. 30-second timeout.
With a little icing on this kicker, I can think about it a little bit. They've got one timeout left also, we know.
What a game. Just in the big picture, the ebb and the flows of everything and how it happened. Defensive struggle in the first half. There's an offensive explosion in the second half. We've seen turnovers. We've seen explosive plays. Coming down to special teams. Coaches always harp on this, one of the big 3 components of every game, offense, defense, and this right now. What a huge moment. Mark Stoops knows it.
Remember now, Kentucky sent a man deep. I wonder where they got that idea. 2 of them. Where do you think they learned that on a long field goal? A 52-yarder. Hardin for the W off to the right. No, this will not be good. And we are going to overtime in the Swamp. Will Muschamp and the Kentucky Wildcats are headed for extra time in the heat and humidity. What can you say about Mark Stoops' performance here tonight with these young Wildcats? The Gators with a chance to win it.
Bang, 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 bang.
Let's play on.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk.
Time. They've lost 27 straight, one of the longest streaks in college football. And remember, they play every year. Hardin explaining what happened to the kick when it was in the air. So the captains will come out to the middle of the field. Mark Curls, the referee, will flip the coin, and we will see who's going to go on defense.
Yeah, and that's the key.
Normally, when you win it.
Yeah, you want to do that. You want to play defense first because you want to know what you need once you get possession of the football. And generally, you know, when I look at games and they go into overtime, when possessions are going to start in the opponent's red zone, scoring area, I think back to which of the 2 teams was running the football the best. In this game so far, it's been Florida.
All right, gentlemen, going to overtime. Winner of the toss gets to choose whether to go on offense, defense, or choose which end of the field we play on, okay? Kentucky, it's your call. What is your call? Tails. Tails. The call is tails? It is heads. Florida, you won the toss. You want to play defense. Kentucky, which end of the field do you want to play on? You want to go on that end, all right? Put your backs down there. Or, excuse me, your back's here. Your back's to that end. Florida's won the toss, chose to go on defense. We'll play on this end of the field.
Kentucky will go back toward the end of the field where their fans are on that far side in that corner, and the Kentucky band is also over there, staying away from the Florida band. But here are the rules. You just saw the coin toss. 1 possession from the 25-yard line till the winner is decided. There's no game clock, obviously. And with the 3rd overtime, remember, you have to go for a 2-point conversion.
How about this for your 3rd start? If you're Patrick Towles. You're on the road, hostile environment, overtime. Game's on your shoulders, as we said it would be. You see Mark Stoops over there, he's feeling the heat. This is a big moment. This is a big moment for this team. It's a big moment for this program. And Mark Stoops' short tenure as head coach.
Boom Williams is Kentucky's running back on 1st and 10 from the 25. They'll flare to him. He's got great speed. But when he cuts back, sheds a defender. Daylight, 15, 10. Boom goes the dynamite.
They're saying touchdown. And it looked as if the Florida Gators had this play sniffed out from the very start. You see, the very end of this play, Boom Williams making contact with the safety, Jabari Gorman. That football goes over the pylon inbounds. I think it broke the plane before any part of his body was out. Take a look. Inbounds over top. He did a nice job cradling the ball back over top of it and broke the plane inbounds. That is a tremendous effort. And again, one of these young true freshmen that Mark Stoops has recruited, making a big play on offense for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Stunned in Gainesville.
On the first play, and that's why. I mean, it's been explosive plays from this Kentucky Wildcats offense. You come out, you lose the coin toss, and on the very first play, your true freshman running back runs the entire length of the field,
After further
cuts
review,
back.
the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Wow. It's a dagger.
Austin McGinnis. Jared Lee did a magnificent job with a bad snap on that tying field goal. Great pair of hands is the holder. Does another good job back there. 27-20. Sit back and enjoy this, especially in Lexington and Louisville, and watch this cutback speed, folks.
They just spit it out. It's like an extension of the running game and a sweep play. There's a broken tackle, cuts back. Another broken tackle. And all that speed, and a good job by Kentucky offensive players getting downfield and getting blocks, never quitting on the play. Tremendous effort at the very end by Boom Williams getting that football across the plane. And now all the pressure on Jeff Driscoll and the Florida offense. Have to respond yet again here in the second half of this game in overtime.
Matt Jones will be the running back. Robinson, the dangerous wide receiver, will come to the bottom of your screen. They'll slot Pittman. Fullwood is off to the left. Must have a touchdown on this drive. Strong run, 2nd and short, coming up for the Gators.
It's pretty apparent down here in tight. They've had success with the power running game, and that's opened up some opportunities outside as well. Again, Matt Jones, your big 235-pound back, is going to have to be a workhorse here. You can't forget about number 11 again outside, Demarcus Robinson at the bottom of the screen right here.
Jones again. 1st down, Florida at the 12-yard line. Dunbar comes in from the sideline as one of the wide targets.
They've done a nice job in this game. The Gators have spelling each of these running backs, Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones. They should have good wind right about now when you need it the most. That's been one guy carrying the entire workload. They need strong running here.
First and final timeout, Florida.
You know, Jesse, we both wondered. We figured Kentucky was going to be improved.
Yeah.
There was no question about that. But we both wondered if they had enough to finish here in the Swamp? That becomes the good question. And of course, obviously, the outcome's still up in the air. But I am really surprised at how well they've played down the stretch in this game.
No doubt about it. It's hard to know how well they finished because, again, they haven't won a conference game in the last 2 years. You've never really seen them ever actually do that. I think the statement they just made on the first play of overtime, coming in again and completing that and executing, and the effort they've shown, they're a hungry team, and we knew that coming into this game. Scratching and clawing right now to get this win. Again, they understand what this means to the program if they're able to pull this out. And conversely for the Florida Gators, also coming off a 4-8 season, they talk about how that was a 4-8 year. They're not a 4-8 program, but it's these types of moments right now. If you're to get back to respectability and compete in the SEC, and it's early in the season, you've got to answer.
Remember now, Will Muschamp has competed in here before. He's won with Miami as a defensive back coach. He's won with Florida State as a defensive coordinator. Jones crosses the 10-yard line here in our first overtime. If you just joined us, we had a punting duel in the first half, and we had an explosive offensive show in the second half. Kentucky with the lead in the first overtime, and a 2nd and 7 for Jeff Driscoll and the Florida Gators. Jones again, middle, trying to get the first down and cannot. This will bring up a 3rd down.
Khalid Henderson
must have a touchdown.
Yeah, Khalid Henderson and A.J. Stamps doing a nice job, kind of a last stand on defense, setting up 3rd and short. Kelvin Taylor comes in, fresh running back, fresh legs.
Taylor hit in the backfield. 4th down. Kentucky 1 play away from winning for the first time in 28 games against the Gators as Jason Hatcher out of Louisville brings the heat.
That was a zone read, and I wondered if Jeff Driscoll could have actually pulled this football. Jason Hatcher was outside on the line of scrimmage, came screaming down to make that tackle, and I think if Jeff Driscoll had pulled that, he may have walked in the end zone. It's an obvious passing situation now for the Florida Gators. Again, their biggest threat has been number 11, Demarcus Robinson, over 200 yards, lined up at the top of the screen.
Remember, they've used their timeout. The play clock quickly running down. Can they get it off? Did they get it off? Fade to the end zone. Got it, Robinson. An extra point away from a 2nd overtime. Mark Stoops livid. He thought the play clock ran out. Stoops is all over the officials. It was close. I mean, real close.
Take a look at this again. Look at the play clock. 2-1. It looks like there, the play clock hit 0 right before the snap was off.
The extra point for the tie. 2 overtimes in Gainesville.
And you do not have a bigger moment than that if you're Florida quarterback Jeff Driscoll. 4th down, game on the line. Mark Stoops wants to talk to the head umpire. He's livid, but what a throw by Jeff Driscoll. Again, finding his big play target and Demarcus Robinson. Take a look at the play clock again. 2. He's trying to get his receiver set up. It doesn't matter. He just needs the ball in his hand. And it looks as though it goes to 0, a fraction of a second before that ball comes out. And it was a perfect throw and a perfect catch, and very, very well executed by the Florida Gators, getting Robinson matched up with Ashley Lowry as safety. Wow.
Now remember, when you go to the 2nd overtime, you flip who gets the ball first.
But you don't have to go for 2 yet.
No, not till the 3rd
overtime.
overtime.
It's the 3rd overtime. So Mark Stoops still pleading his case. And I got to be honest, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, based on what we just saw on the play clock, I mean, you know, you'd think he has a reason.
Kentucky's elected to go on defense. We'll play on this end of the field.
I want you to watch Coach Stoops on that sideline now with the clock running down. He thinks it's zeroed out. They'll flip into the field. Mark realizes it's not going to be changed. Got to go to work here with the second overtime.
No doubt. You got to dial back in now. Get your defense ready to go here again. Short turnover. Sudden change situation. I think it's important, too, for head coaches in this type of situation to keep your poise. Calm down. You got a young team, hostile environment. Just get them focused.
Wouldn't you love to have Robinson in an SEC fantasy league? 15 catches for 216 yards and a touchdown.
Wow, what a game.
Well, yeah, there's nothing conclusive about the clock. Let's be perfectly clear and fair to everybody here. There's some reaction time, but from the 25-yard line, here comes Driscoll. On first down, he's going to go for it. End zone. Incomplete. Penalty flag. That's a 15-yarder. J.D. Harmon with coverage. Target, Quinton Dunbar out of Miami Booker T. Washington High School.
Pass interference, number 11, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
When I watched this live, it looked to me like Harmon reaches out with his left hand and grabs the right arm of Quinton Dunbar. See, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle. Look here with that left arm. See, he kind of reaches out and grabs that right arm, and that's a good call by the referee.
Jones, the Gator running back.
You got to be careful in a situation like this if you're Matt Jones or any ball carrier for Florida, because in these situations, these Kentucky defensive players are taught to get their hands in on the football and try to rip it free. So ball security obviously at a premium right now for the Florida Gators.
Second down and goal after the 15-yard penalty. From the 8-yard line. Driscoll's going to run it all the way behind Jones. He's thrown down at about the 3, and good effort by Driscoll, and Douglas probably hit him first.
An attitude run by the Florida Gators is something we hadn't yet quite seen early this year from Kurt Rober, but that time using Matt Jones as a lead fullback and getting the +1 advantage in the running game. It's nice when you have a 230-pound quarterback.
The extra blocker, Westbrook.
All right, you got Robertson up top, man-to-man, bump and run, number 11.
First and final timeout, Florida. 30-second timeout.
So third and goal, and Muschamp wants his offense to talk it over. The Swamp still jammed. One of the great settings in the SEC. Like Jesse said at the top of this broadcast, there are no bad ones in this conference. Kentucky battled its heart out here tonight. Remodeling that stadium up in Lexington. It'll be a beautiful, beautiful facility. Next year, we look forward to being in that stadium. We'll probably be there before this season's over. Basketball team finally has a football team they can be proud of, huh? They're down a goal.
Right here. It's been the go-to man for the Gators all night.
Sends him in motion.
I'll cut it for a rollout.
They're rolling in Robinson's direction. He had him. He had him. I think he needed to release it a little quicker, Jesse, at the first look. I mean, you take another look at it. I thought he had him.
It looked like Robinson had the defense outflanked. You need to get this football out of his hands. You're going to see here Robinson in motion, just going to run to the flat. Now Driscoll's rolling out. If he throws it right now, he's got him wide open. And it looked that time like Jeff Driscoll came off of his first intended receiver way too soon.
And it means that they will have to settle for a field goal attempt here with Velez. Kentucky can win it with a touchdown.
And yet another situation with the game on the line for young quarterback Patrick Towles. He's been tested time and time again. His poise is something that you, myself, Maria, we've all talked about throughout the course of this game. There's been a lot of big moments that we've seen him step up and make the throw that needed to be delivered to keep his football team in this game. We said the game would be on his shoulders. Biggest moment of the game for him so far.
Hurd, the running back. Play action, has to throw it away. Incomplete, out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10, and you know who was there. Number 6, Mr. Fowler.
Grounding, number 85 was in the area, 2nd down.
We were just checking to see if that was going to be intentional grounding. Patrick Towles was still inside the pocket. But number 85, his tight end Stephen Borden, was in the vicinity, so they escaped the 15-yard penalty. That's huge. Now again, where's number 6? Line up right up here for the Florida Gators.
Penalty flag. The right tackle might have moved early. Swindle might have pulled out. We'll see how they call it. Fowler.
Before the snap, ball start, number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's who it was because Fowler was there.
His speed scares you so much if you're an opposing offensive lineman, and Jordan Swindle certainly has had his hands full the entire time. Look at number 70 here, just trying to get a jump start. And again, in this situation, on the road, hostile environment, it's loud, it's hard to communicate, and that's got to be at a premium. This will be the loudest this Gator crowd has been all night long.
Second and 15. Fires, and trying to get back was Johnson. And Johnson was with, again, Fowler bringing the heat that time. And Neal, the safety, was over there with coverage. 3rd and 15.
Dante Fowler Jr. is having his way right now with Jordan Swindle at the top of the screen at that spot. There's a reason Swindle's trying to get every advantage he can and set early. Patrick Towles has to have a plan, has to be able to get the football out of his hand quickly. You're seeing them right now with 2 running backs. I'm not sure if Braylon Hurd's not in the game, number 5, to help chip on number 6.
They give it to him instead. Penalty flag. Was that a face mask? Did they grab Hurd's face mask? Did Cummings accidentally do it?
Wow.
That is a possible game-saving 1st down, if that's what the call is.
Yep. Face mask on Darius Cummings.
Overtime for the refs' batteries.
Take a look here at number 55. He does a great job with penetration, getting in the backfield. You see right here, grabbing the face mask and twisting it. That's the correct call. That is a huge difference maker. That would have been a tackle for a loss. He forced a long Kentucky field goal. Now new life right into this Kentucky offense here in double OT.
The ball is moved to the 15-yard line. It's a 1st and 10. The pressure grows on the Florida sideline. Hurd stays as running back. Hurd, crease right side to the 12-yard line, and Orr hitting him for the Gators.
Leon Orr is a guy that a lot of eyes are watching. He's a key player in this defense. You see Braylon Hurd slow getting up. We talked about the attrition at defensive tackle for the Florida Gators defensively. First-round picks lost. Leon Orr, a guy that really needs to step up here. This whole entire defense, they're tired. Guys, hands on their hips. It's been a long game. It's humid. They played a lot of snaps against an up-tempo offense. Backs against the wall.
Williams is on the field along with Kemp. Tolles looking downfield. Safety valve. Throw it away. 3rd down and 7.
Very smart decision by Patrick Tolles. We've seen him get in trouble tonight with intentional grounding. Narrowly escaped one a few plays ago. That time, good awareness, understanding. Cannot take a sack in this situation. Just throw the football away. So we've seen him in these scenarios, and oftentimes he's looked for his big true freshman wide receiver, Blake Bone, number 6. And it didn't matter if he was lined up against Vernon Hargraves, the best cornerback in the SEC, or against someone else.
Johnson with 2 touchdown passes is to the left. One of the slot men. Tolles looks in that direction. Comes in underneath. That was Johnson, but he couldn't get the first down. So now it is 4th down, and we are a field goal away from a 3rd overtime.
And give credit to defensive coordinator DJ Dirk and this Florida defense. They appeared to have a 3-and-out, had a face mask penalty on Cummings, set up another fresh set of downs, and they forced yet another 3-and-out. Backs against the wall, playing good D.
Austin McGinnis. We'll play 3. Must go for 2 points after a touchdown in the 3rd overtime. What a gutsy game by Kentucky.
We've seen about everything in this game, haven't we?
Absolutely.
We've seen, it's been unbelievable. Any storyline you could think about. Defense first half, explosive plays in the second half. We've seen missed field goals. We've seen mistakes on special teams. We've seen turnovers. We've seen crazy plays. We've seen kicks go off uprights and land in. Crazy penalties. Questionable clock. Everything. Looks exhausted, don't they?
They sure do.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for them as well in the humidity. And as you said earlier, Brent, they've stuck around, supporting their team. Now going into triple overtime against the much improved Kentucky Wildcats.
Maria, what's it like on the Kentucky sideline?
Well, the one word I keep hearing, Brent, is do not flinch. One of the most vocal guys has been Bud Dupree. He says if we want to get out of here with a win, we're going to have to take it. They're not going to give it to us. So a lot of vocal leaders stepping up right now, and Kentucky trying to keep momentum going here.
Flip ends again. The Kentucky fans who travel to Gainesville are over on that far side, the corner with the Kentucky band, and Kentucky will head in that direction. They'll have the ball first, and JoJo Kemp is the running back.
Let's go, Blue! Let's go, Cat!
Play action. Diving interception. If it holds now, Gorman, it's incomplete. Hit the ground. They're saying it hit the ground. They had 2 officials jump all over it.
This is a chance that Keanu Neal, who already has 2 picks on the game, had an opportunity to make that play. Gets deflected. That's a good call by the referee. That hits the ground before Gorman gets there. Oh, it's a game of inches, isn't it?
It indeed is. Tolles shakes the defender, but not the second and third.
But it was
third down.
It was a huge play by Tolles, even to just avoid that first defender. Brian Cox Jr., a sophomore, is bearing down on him in the backfield. Any tackle for a loss right now, any sack, makes a potential field goal so much more difficult. And there again, you see the surprising and impressive quickness and elusiveness of this 6'5", 240-pound sophomore quarterback.
Both Kemp and Hurd check in at the same time. 3rd and 9. Here they come. Jailbreak. Got one-on-one. Almost held on, but Dorian Baker couldn't as Brian Poole stayed with him.
It looked as if Dorian Baker was going to come down with this play. We've seen Patrick Tolles throw beautiful fades all night long. But that time, Brian Poole does a good job competing, getting his right hand in on the football right here. The very top, he's able to rip this away. That was close. Gators get away almost having an interception. 2 plays before that, and Kentucky right there nearly had a go-ahead touchdown.
So now McGinnis, 42-yarder, perfect on the night. No good. The Gators can win it with a field goal.
It's been a very long time, Brent, since I can remember a football game that had so many different emotional swings and ebbs and flows. That kick nearly blocked off the edge. It just drifted to the right. There was no sway back this time, like we saw in that 51-yard field goal. Vernon Hargraves almost getting his hand on that from the outside, and now the Gators set up, triple OT, needing a field goal to win as Mark Stoops looks on, knowing his defense now has to make a stand.
Jones, the Gator running back. Start from the 25-yard line. 3rd overtime and a whistle.
Timeout, Kentucky.
First and final timeout, Kentucky. 30-second timeout.
He's saying they're not lined up right. He's looking at his guys. It's a good job by Mark Stoops being heads up. Can't get gashed right now. No time for mental errors. And again, you think about fatigue, right? Triple OT late in this game, and that affects the mind. Sometimes you come out, you're a little bit lackadaisical, you don't get lined up, but kudos to Mark Stoops for being dialed in, having his hands on the pulse, getting that timeout call. But those are the types of decisions you make as a head coach that potentially save a game.
Welcome to the SEC and the SEC Network. This is just the beginning. 1st and 10 for the Gators. They can win it with any old kind of a score. Jones.
Tremendous quickness again, and right now Kentucky, they're sending everybody from the perimeter. Cody Quinn, a cornerback, coming off the edge, making that stop in the backfield. He's trying to slow down Matt Jones. You got to take risks. You live and die by the blitz. And right now Kentucky rolling the dice.
First down, Jones won't be stopped. 6-yard line. 1st and goal.
They're running right behind their massive right guard, Trenton Brown, who's 6'8", 360 pounds on a simple zone play. You see right now, People from the sidelines of Florida yelling over at Matt Jones, ball security, 2 hands on the ball. Cannot turn it over. Kentucky, they're going to be ripping at the football. Got to be careful.
How long did they go before they kicked the field goal? They're not even going to think about it. That close to the end zone in the end game.
We talked about how Kentucky needed to be a more physical team this year. There's no doubt about it. They are more physical than they were a year ago, but Florida still is the more physical team. I think we've seen that on both sides of the ball, and that could be the difference in this game right here.
Florida survives. Straight, but it wasn't easy. Let's go to Maria with Coach Muschamp.
Coach, you survived a triple overtime game. What was going through your mind as your defense took the field for the third overtime?
Well, we didn't play very good on defense. On the back end, we cut 2 big plays there in the third quarter. Extremely disappointed with that, but our kids fought. A lot of adversity in the game. We put up over close to 600 yards of offense. We got to convert in the red zone. We got to convert on third down early in the game, especially to create some separation, and we didn't.
Well, in the second overtime, Driscoll steps back and hits a fourth down touchdown to save the game. What impressed you most about your quarterback today?
Well, it's a great play on his part, and DeMarcus Robinson played fantastic again. We're in a situation we got a little confused on the formation at the time. Jeff did a great job of getting the snap off and throwing the ball in the corner of the end zone.
Well, after dealing with the ebbs and flows of this game, where do you feel your team showed the most resolve?
Well, again, we won the game, and that's the bottom line, but we got a lot of corrections to make, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We had a couple issues in protection early on, and 2 drop balls on third down that really hurt.
All right, thanks, Coach.
The Gators had lost 5 straight SEC games until tonight. The winning touchdown.
SEC is a line of scrimmage league. Brent, you and I talk about that each and every week, and tonight the more physical team won. Matt Jones, 156 yards rushing on the night, none bigger than that final carry to set the crowd off. Jeff Driscoll elated. This was a tough loss for Mark Stoops in Kentucky, but without a doubt, they can hold their heads high walking out of the swamp. They are a much better team than a year ago, and Will Muschamp, in battle throughout all of last year, needing this win early. This was an exhausting win, physically, mentally, emotionally, but at the end of the day, what did you say yesterday? Just win, baby. That's it. That's what he's had to do, and he definitely got that done. It's a good win for the Florida Gators. First conference game, and now they're exhausted. They got to get their minds right, because guess who they got next week? On the road in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. Big challenge.
Maria has Jeff Driscoll. Maria?
Jeff, take me down to that 4th down play. The game is on the line. You step right back, throw the fade, and get the touchdown. What was going through your mind during that play?
I mean, I knew we had a little miscommunication. Guys weren't lined up, but we work those plays all the time where everything's not always going to be set up. You got to get them set and just run a play. So we knew that we had to get the ball snapped, and DeMarcus made a really good play like he did all night.
Coach talked a lot about some of the mistakes that were made during the game. As players, what were you talking about on the sideline to get through those mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, mistakes are going to happen. We're still early in the year, but we came out with the win, and we're 1-0 in SEC play, and we're going to correct those mistakes, but right now we're going to enjoy this one.
Well, your favorite target today was DeMarcus Robinson. What did he add to the offense for you guys today?
He had a huge day. You know, some days you're hot, and today was his day. Not that those other guys can't make a play, but I think just DeMarcus was hot today. So we were going to feed the hot hand, and he made big plays when he needed to.
Well, ultimately looking forward, where do you think you guys can build on for your next game?
I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a lot of mistakes, a lot of things we can correct on, but I think going through that, winning the game with a lot of adversity is huge for our program.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
To review the play of the game, Driscoll and the Gators were down to their last snap, and they milked every millisecond out of it. Then that fade. Robinson. He thought the play clock had run out. Robinson is with Maria, so let's go back down below.
DeMarcus, a career day for you. What do you feel was working for you offensively tonight?
Man, everything was going for us tonight. I mean, we came out pretty slow, and then halftime coach gave us a great speech, and the boys got together. We knew what we had to do to come out with a win, and we did it.
Well, what was that halftime speech coach was giving you guys?
It's a little secret, coach. You know, keep it a little secret.
What do you feel like during the ebbs and flows? It wasn't perfect by any means, but what did you learn about your team today?
Man, we just got to keep fighting, keep standing together, and whenever we make plays, we make plays.
Also in the passing game, you and Jeff Driscoll worked very well together. How have you guys been able to build chemistry coming into this season?
Man, just after work practice, keep working hard, keep doing things other people don't do, or things that we don't think other people do. So we just try to go harder than everybody else.
Well, there's a lot of talk about getting the snap off on time on that 4th down play. Were you worried about it at all while you were on the field?
Man, I was so worried. I didn't think he was giving me a chance, but our blockers made a great block, and he just made a great throw.
All right, well, congratulations on the win.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Love to see the happy Warriors. Robinson with a great night. They're in a triple overtime win.